A Wednesday here as we get into the remainder of the afternoon. I was just noticing the market downside there off of 5,000 once again for the S&P. We're still holding on to positive territory though, which is good to see. Bit of a bounce back for some of the names we've been looking at over the past couple of days, including most of what led the downside move yesterday in the afternoon. Heavy selling coming in. Start things off with this. This is the dollar today. Had a huge move to the upside yesterday on both the dollar and some of the longer term yields. We are getting a bit of a pullback here, helping things as far as equities are concerned. But this march higher for the USD continuing. Why does that matter, you ask? Well, in this environment, we are still dealing with elevated yields and also elevated inflation, and that typically correlates with a higher US dollar. Sharif's very loud this afternoon. 1.5% here for Tesla, holding on to a nice bounce, but bouncing off of basically resistance from yesterday. Still positive on the day to the tune of 1.7%. There's Uber, tough to see, but 11.5%. We'll get into Uber here coming up, and LYFT, both with pretty good days. GE standing out here, 3.2%. Some of the consumer discretionary names back to the upside today. Some of the retail names back to the upside today. Walmart, TJX standing out as relatively weak. Apple standing out as relatively weak down here in tech, with everything else, or mostly everything else, in positive territory. Google basically flat on the afternoon. Netflix 3.5% as well. I feel like we haven't talked about Netflix very much in the past couple of weeks here. There is Apple, as you heard Sharif talking about, trying to hold at 182, but we're getting into that really nice level down there around 180 for Apple. On the daily chart, yeah, an AI gold rush, you say? Let's talk about some of the semiconductors. We're back on the watch list. If you're with us in the pre-market this morning, we were talking about those. We were talking about earnings names as well, to the tune of Airbnb, LYFT, and Uber, as I mentioned, crypto stocks, Robinhood, to name a few. There were so many this morning moving around. Yeah, Airbnb, top of the list there. We'll get down to semis at the bottom, guys.
Yes, sir. Airbnb, well, ABNB, Airbnb, it's been hot. And really, the market overall, you're going to be stair-step down because we just turned at 17.8, but really you made a double bottom and you've been trending up for most of lunchtime until just very recently. But look, I like the 142. We said we'd look at some day two plays. If I had gone for dip buy in this, obviously things would have been different, because I'll show you what happened in the other. Yeah, we'll get to Hood in a second. I can show you Shopify, which was a day two play. It wasn't a bad report, and if you're just looking for beats and stuff like that, like top, bottom, and guide wasn't that bad. But ultimately, it's what the market says. But we'd held the 50-period moving average. I think that's a good sign. You put in one bottom at 143. So for the continuation play tomorrow, can it hold that same level? I don't know that I want to be punching long at highs on anything, even if it's relatively strong. Like, we just made a lower high on the NASDAQ. The ES, pretty much the same thing underneath 5,000. So even on a strong name, I think you want to be trying dip buys as opposed to breakouts of top. But a good day for Airbnb. I know it says down 1.5%, but that's not really telling you the story.
All right. Yeah. You know, we mentioned that we probably wouldn't be trading this today. The only thing is that I feel like when you're doing earnings, you're always looking to break pre-market highs and stuff like that, right? And so you finally broke that. So realistically, I feel like the best long is at 147. So you'd be in the money now about $1 and change. I feel like that's good. If you're long right now, hold to 147. Or you can actually just play back until the 50-period moving average. So there's the 147 break. Boom, came back, held it. I mean, it went down to 146.50. So if that's what you want to hold, that's fine. But there it is. Nice break, upside. So yeah, man, wait till it stops holding. I just can't wait to talk about Uber. So let's go over and talk about Uber right away, the number one name, the number one sticky note, the number one play.
Yeah, let's go over to LYFT and Uber, among the bigger movers this morning for two entirely different reasons. That's not good. So apparently we're not the only ones that have data issues with our chart. I don't know what's happening with that, but not showing the chart.
That's all right. I had trouble with my Tesla chart midday today too, so.
Yeah, I mean, take your pick here, Uber or Lyft. I mean, as we said, there was that crazy move that happened after the close yesterday with the earnings call. I saw during lunchtime, the guy was still talking about it, releasing comments on what happened and why and what they're doing to ensure that never happens again.
Yeah, there should be some repercussions to pay on that because people probably got in based on that information. All right, guys. LYFT this morning when it opened up was still 80% below its original IPO price. So there's a lot of way to recover here for LYFT, but they did do well. They beat on the top and they met on the top line. They beat on the bottom line. Their metrics are continuing to grow. So the amount of rides that they had increased 26%. Their gross bookings increased 17% year over year. So it's a good look so far for them. They're still number 2 to Uber though.
Yeah, which is having quite the day here still. Basically back to day highs. This chart works 11.8% for Uber on a massive buyback mostly.
So we're almost $2 in the money on ARM. I am bidding 126 to take some out for $1.70. ARM's going to be the #1 P&L name, but Uber's not far behind it. First of all, happy. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's go. There you go, Patrick. There you go, Patrick. There's another $2 there, ARM. All right. So just quickly here, happy Valentine's Day to everybody that's out there. I want everyone to go over to Instagram. Check this out. It's Wednesday Wisdom. We actually talked about our ARM trade at 1:30, how you can address it. Already 704 views. Thank you so much. I put this up 16 minutes ago. So go do that. But the other thing here is this, man. Sometimes it's not that hard. There's something called the sticky note. 73 long on Uber. We knew we wanted a long. We may have to hammer 75 long. The problem with hammering 75 long is I only crossed up 20 cents. So I didn't get that one, but that doesn't really matter. There's so many trades available as we talk about every single day. So Uber right there. We missed a 75. Let me break this down a little bit more. We missed a 75 right there. It pulls back. I get long 75.40. That comes all the way up. Then we get a pullback into the 50 period, 74.25, 74.67 into the 50 period moving average. These are 76.24s. So that's like $1.80. And then finally we get out of our last piece on a 50 period moving average break, which happens at $77. Right there. So that's about that's a $3 winner there on Uber. So again, I'm just really happy. And the reason why I say that to Patrick is because I spent some time with Obi and some time with Patrick during lunch. And I just said, just get some ideas and go with them. You know, I only had 4 trades. I'm only in 4 trades all day now today. You don't need to be in and out of all of these names. Everyone's style different. That's going to be mine. So here's the take on Uber, the #1 name on here. What's the catalyst? I mean, LYFT is a great catalyst. Uber breaking highs, 52-week highs, another good catalyst. Plus the dividend, I mean, it was all right there. So to me, it was great. We could have been, if this 75 hits off open, it was only 500 shares, but it went instantly in the money. Like, I mean, our outs, it would just went right up. Like that high was 76.75, something like that. So a little bit less aggressive or more aggressive on the fill, and it's a really fantastic day on Uber. But anyways, we played some pullbacks into the 50 period, and that's that. We did not trade LYFT. We will get to ARM, but I just wanted to tell you, I mean, look at this. There's the short. We do not get out at 122. Comes that was bad, right? That's why the Wednesday Wisdom's up there. Well, that's not why. But it goes all the way up to VWAP, boom, VWAP, boom. Down to the 200 period, ARM, your #1 name. But we'll get to that in 4 more topics.
So I'm going to mention it right now because I just got out, and I'm going to show you why. I'm in 3 trades right now. They are all exactly the same setup, and it's the same thing we did yesterday. Middle of the day VWAP retracement. VWAP retrace, support at 125 out. VWAP retrace, support at 125.50, high or low out. Micron I'm in. There might be a bad wick here. I'm hoping it's gone. It's gone. VWAP retrace, double tap. I'm trailing this one back into 61.8, and then Rivian. Rivian is also a VWAP retracement trade as well. So all 3 of them are VWAP retrace trades. I did have a VWAP. Now I've said VWAP way too many times, but that's what I had on LYFT. Actually, it was it was a pullback into VWAP. It bounced once, and then I got some profit out, and then at 1-to-1, and then I got out when it broke the local support. I haven't traded it since. If anything, this stock isn't doing much. I know it says up 30%, but look at this. It's not moving. So maybe there's a flat bottom break or something in it. We can keep tabs on LYFT, but it's very deceiving because Uber is the better mover today. And I know if you just look at a percentage and not pay attention to what's really going on, sometimes people will do that. If you're just looking at like a quote board, you might get the impression that LYFT is the better trade to the long side today, which I suppose if you're holding it overnight or you got like a really early pre-market price, percentage-wise, yes. But LYFT has been under VWAP for the last 3 hours, and the range is about 40 cents on it. So it's not doing much of anything here. But the VWAP retracement's been very good, especially with that 17.8 level in play on the NASDAQ.
Hi, Ramin. There's a lot of people looking short Robinhood this morning. I hope they ended up doing pretty well because it ends up being quite the short today. Nice bounce right now, but still positive on the session. But that pre-market high and aftermarket high ended up being the level going back to the open, or at the open anyway. If you missed it this morning, we were touching on their revenue beat, their EPS beating as well. I mean, it was higher trading volumes, higher crypto trading volumes specifically, but they're still making a ton on interest.
They are, Brendo. They're making about $200 million, sorry, excuse me, 236, I'll get this right, $236 million on interest income. They made about $200 million more, on transaction fees, mostly from crypto. As you said, they beat on the top and bottom line. We'll have to see how they do the rest of the year. Average revenue per user was up 23%. So it's a good look so far.
The highest volume day, worth noting, in about 6 months here today for Hood, guys.
Yeah. It is. You know what? It's 58 million volume, the daily chart. We said this the other day. Oops. Oh, that's right. I have to do this because we actually crashed a second ago. So boom. And then daily chart. I thought it was a chance at a breakout today. Like the trade I probably liked the most. I said dip buy, and I'll get to the dip buy in a second because it was like 1 for 3, but actually ended up working out because we're flat on it. 14, if 14 had gone, maybe even like that 1380, just even held a bit up there. I kind of felt the breakout was squeezing people, and it's obvious a triple top like that. But if it doesn't break, then you don't have to take the trade. It felt all morning long like you were going to get it. But there's the first dip buy into pre-market support, got out, so I go for 1. The second bounce, we get a nice bounce off the 13 level, get a win, then the second time, smaller win, and then we take the hit. But overall, flat on the trade because I'm not going to hold on to it and all that kind of nonsense. But it did eventually make a bounce, not where I was expecting it to. I thought once it broke these levels, we'd be headed back down. I even said this on, I think when we were leaving the morning show. Oh yeah, look for 1250, 1260, and if it got down there, I was going to take another shot at it. Never did. Now it's trying to hold VWAP. So on the daily chart, it's still within range of that 14 breakout. I'll come back looking for that tomorrow and Friday probably, and Monday, whenever it has an opportunity to break that 14 level, I want to be there. I think it's an obvious one, and it's still got 8% short float. So flat on it today, but that's mostly because I was able to adhere to the stops. If it breaks that 14, I can't imagine a reason not to take it if we do get that at some point in the next couple of days.
Okay, just real quick, and then we'll go back there because I don't have too much to say other than, you know, it's one thing to say all this stuff, but we actually write it down here at Trader TV Live. And I mean, here it is on Robinhood. Here's the play right here. Great report, 7% short float. Like look, catch the taste, take the break long. You know, we talked about that, 7% short out. Let's see if we take out 52-week highs at 1350. We did that. We're going to take out the pre-market long. Like, it's literally that simple, you know? Like, so here's ARM. What's up, ARM? Here's Snapchat. And there is that pre-market break. Snapchat, hello. We're talking about Hood. Robinhood is NASDAQ. I was going to talk about Snapchat. There's that pre-market break, and it doesn't happen. So that's why we write, like, look at the level here, 1385, right? This level is 1385. So again, we'll write down levels, and I'll give you my opinion. If it breaks, we're going long. I mean, the trade is right here. So if it doesn't break, what do? You go short. So right there, I mean, if you guys, I wasn't looking short, you guys know that. But if you were, as Brendan said, there's the trade for you, and it's a banger. So there it is, man. I mean, keep coming back every single day as we discuss all of these hot plays. Watchlist.tradertv.live. Sticky note, at TraderTV Sean, at TraderTV Neil, at TraderTV Brendan. I'm not sure why not. At TraderTV Sharif should be being made immediately. So on that,
At
I think,
TraderTV Randy.
forget about Randy.
Never.
No, because there's no trade ideas there. I'm saying, you know, we could get that going. At Trade Ideas, at Trade Ideas. At Trade Ideas, Randy. Yeah, he just got employed there, no. But make sure you double check all of that every single morning. There's the trade on hood. Couldn't be more happy, but I would have preferred it to break so we could have gone long, but it didn't happen. Watching ARM still, but we'll talk about UPST, another one I didn't trade.
Yeah, let's get into another one that was pretty ugly today. Upstart 20% still, and that's off the lows. 26 ends up being the level here, which was about the low from after the close yesterday. Not much on the positive side to say here for UPST.
No, Brendo, it was a beat on the top and bottom line, but the guide absolutely really missed here. It was an earnings beat by about 26%. That's for the past quarter. Now, with respect to this quarter, they're guiding about $125 million in revenue and about a $75 million loss. The street was looking for $152 million in revenue and a $34 million loss. So a big miss there, Brendo, and yeah, they're paying for it right now.
Was a huge move down, obviously, after the close yesterday, but a little bit tough here, guys. It did test that high as well from the pre-market right at the open.
Of course. UPST,
Upstart.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I was, the only level that I was looking at for Upstart, I didn't even look at it at all today, so let's do it together right now for the first time. All right, so if you want to get into my mind, probably not a good one. I was just basically saying that it's all about this, 31. So we had 31. Let me zoom back out a little bit here for Upstart. Okay, so good earnings. We had Upstart live, and actually, if you wanted to find it out, right here yesterday on Trader TV into the recap show, and I actually posted this. Thank you to Fabian, who stayed late again. Here it is right here. We were yelling about Upstart when it came out, and I was challenging anybody. Who else? This is, I'm saying right now, too bad we don't have this here. Who else is going to show you a live level 2? So here's Upstart as it comes out yesterday, live. You know, everybody's gone. Look at the time. It's 4:35. There's nobody here but me or the Chilean Nightmare. And here we go. This is a live level 2 screen right now of Upstart. You know, so this is what we're doing. We watch it. This actually goes to $26. Notice the liquidity here. So you got about $1 or so worth of room. And then this is where it starts to go down. It breaks 29. And then now I believe we flush into 26 or something like that. Here it goes. This is what I'm saying. Who's showing you? Who's showing you this? Who is showing you the live level 2? Anyways, that's Upstart. A lot of fun on the market recap show. I didn't trade it today. The level I would have been looking for would have been $31. We talked about that right into here. Didn't hit. Yeah, Upstart. I guess you could have shorted $27, but I don't know. I knew I wasn't going to trade it earlier this morning. I don't generally trade earnings plays. Unless there's some key levels. So that's why we had that hood, which was awesome. And then Upstart just didn't get to the level. So down 20%. Feel like it's going to pop back up tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like 99% of the earnings plays that, well, it's probably not 99%, but like it's a high percentage of them. It's because of a specific setup, like like looking for a bounce when a stock is down that 10%, and a very structured one. And this is actually what we talked about in the middle of the day. Well, we use this as an example in the middle of the day. When it gave the lesson of the day, the real deal lesson of the day. And it was simply, what is your, like, have a complete and concrete plan for an entry, which can involve, what am I looking for? Upstart was cranked to the downside, as you saw there, down 10%, short sell restricted, SSR, so looking for an SSR type bounce, which to me means make a bottom, wipe out the bottom, put in a higher low, look for the retracement trade. If you don't get the wick, look to get in on the other side of it. Waited for the wick bottom, got it, went in, covered when it broke the local high out. Did it set up again? Answer a resounding no. Like there's no higher low off that 27. It's not giving you the entry you want. So just get away from it. Oddly enough, it came close enough to doing it at 25, but not quite. But that's what it's all about. It's like, why are you getting in? Why do I look for an SSR bounce? Because you can get a relief rally when it's harder for people to hit the bottom, and you get those nice little pullbacks. We've seen it work. But you've got to make sure that you have a reason to get in. What is your exit plan? And only get back in again if it sets up again. That's pretty simple. If you lose on a trade, but then the same thing sets up and it's a positive expectancy for you, you're supposed to go back into the trade. But you're not supposed to just go back into the trade because it happens to be at the price you got out at before. It's like, oh, I can get back in at the same price. So you have a reason to do so. And if the answer is no, then just move on to the next, because there is always a next, just like the semis.
All right, let's go on to semis to wrap things up here. Back to the upside after. Did you catch that pullback? It was 1 day long and seems to be it. I mean, we're off the highs right now for NVIDIA, but only just. 700 tested yesterday. We're back to 730. I was just reading through this note highlighting some of the best performers so far. Price versus 50-day average, it's 32% above that.
Wow.
NVIDIA.
I don't know what else to say, Brendo. A super microcomputer, AMD, even ARM. I know Sean had that great short on ARM, but it continues to go. It's been a really good look here for chips. Obviously, NVIDIA is the big kahuna, and they're reporting soon, so definitely be watching to see how they report. It's been monster beats for the guide the last 2 times around. Do we get a third? So it's going to be really interesting. I just want to mention, Brendo, tomorrow on the midday show, we're continuing with accumulation and distribution, and we're specifically going to be talking about risk management and trade sizing. So check that out with Adair and I tomorrow.
See, I forgot that time.
It's okay.
It's been a great week on the midday. Great learning. Make sure you check that out tomorrow as well.
I mean, meanwhile, we're talking, yeah, thanks for that, Sharif. You know, meanwhile, we're still in ARM, and I just feel like, and this is what I was talking to Patrick and Obi about, and that was just as like, when you hit this, you know, you're going to get an opportunity to do something like this. So it's a huge move to the downside. ARM's actually really calmed down now for some reason. So let's see if it is the calm before the storm. We're now $1.20 in the money. This is going to be the #1 name here. Right now, look, first of all, Bitcoin is starting to go to the downside right now. Apparently, there's a document going around that there's going to be some more discussions there from the U.S. government about Bitcoin. So we'll get that story in a couple minutes, but just hitting my ear now. So Bitcoin is starting to go to the downside a little bit. But right now, ARM, again, off of 127, 128. This has been probably, you know, my biggest stock over the last couple weeks, obviously, and especially not over the last couple weeks. Like, it's been 1 week. I don't know. Feels like it's been a long time since they reported. Right, it's the #1 name in this office this month, and part of that is it goes back to the discussion that we were having before. And it's just like, you want to hit these names when they're moving, and when ARM's doing stuff like this and giving us this opportunity, it's there. So again, you know, ARM, I don't know what else to say other than I feel like it's way overvalued, but that's not why I'm short. I mean, well, that it kind of is why I do have a bias to the short. But we're underneath VWAP, but we're just going to play the exact same game that we've always played with this. You know, be accurate, try to be a little bit greedy, and see what winds up happening. So again, I didn't get out at the bottom, but the fact is we reloaded this numerous times, and I'm up X amount what I would have been out even if I took that out down there, just from all of these reloads. Like, we have like 6 or 7 more outs, all at least 50 cents to $1, $1.50. So yeah, it's been a really good ride there today for ARM, but here it comes back up again. So, you know, just like we talked about, we'll take another short just roughly ahead of VWAP right here. Then if we break that, then we're going to get out. So watch out for 128 coming up on ARM. We only have about 30% left of the position, but that's why you get out at the 200 period. You know, if you're going to use technicals, you better use technicals. So that's what we were doing, and that's the only chip name I traded today.
That's the thing. Like, if you're going to use technicals,
traded Google.
Like, listen to them. Like, if your reason for getting in is a technical, then that should be your reason for taking profit, and it should be your, like, you shouldn't be, oh, I'm going long, I'm going long or short ARM because of its PE is ridiculous. And then that's everything, that's all your fundamental trader, but then you're sitting there like, getting in and out as a day trader off of like a bunch of trend lines, all that nonsense. Like, no, like, you should be, that's a view for long-term investing, as Sean said. I kind of think it's overvalued too. I sold my personal account, but that doesn't inform the trades. I'm just short because it's off VWAP, man. Yeah. Like, I wish I had the short from earlier like you did. Like, to me, it's like the afternoon is
you can have it right now.
It's for VWAP trades. Well, here's the reason I'm not taking this one. Because it's the second time, the first time off of VWAP or trace. I'm taking VWAP or trace trade in that situation. Trend down stock, VWAP or trace. Give you the same reentry point, but higher low. So it's put in a higher low, which means I don't want it the third time. If it goes the third time, it'll go without me. But it's the other chip name that I'm in. The other 2 I traded, 1 I should still be in. I'll get to that. There was a bit of a mistake on Intel. It's not really a mistake. But a Micron from yesterday It'll be mixed because I was in it early and lost this morning because I really like these two levels, and they did not work out for me. At least I wasn't patient enough for the second one. We said 83 on Micron. I shorted it away from 83. I then didn't get back at 83. This morning in the morning mix and all morning long, I was like, this is the short that I like, and then didn't really execute well at the 83 level. But it gave me the VWAP retracement trade, which is exactly what flushed in yesterday's move. I'm trailing this back into this double bottom at 81.80 and looking to see if it can get down to previous close at 81.5. So Micron I like holding to. If it gets back to VWAP, I'll short this one because it's showing me a heck of a lot more weakness than some of the other names I'm watching. The mistake is not being, it's loading. The mistake is missing just now this reload. That's a bad wick there on Intel. This reload here on Intel. So Intel pre-market high was 43.8. I was long a 44 move into 44.3, scalped out, stopped out when it couldn't hold 44. It then bounced off the pre-market high here, got long, bounced off the pre-market high, same support, 43.8, got long again. I got all out at 44.05 for 25 cents, and then it just gave the same bounce level. So a bit of a missed opportunity on Intel. It's underneath VWAP, but it was holding that support at 43.8. So I do like that level on Intel. If the market wants to break out, I might go for the stair step up, which would include going long off VWAP. So I've traded 3 names here in the chip space. I think those are 2 of them for sure. I don't want to try to get some reloads on, but there is one that we should mention because ARM underneath VWAP, Intel for now underneath VWAP, NVIDIA last I checked underneath VWAP. AMD almost broke its high of the day, however. So AMD's in the other bucket. This looks like a VWAP retracement for the afternoon. Lots of strength in AMD today, up 3%, and pressing highs and been higher lows the whole way. All day long, it's putting in higher lows from the open, every pullback. So I'd like to see this at VWAP before looking long, though.
Come over here quickly. They're having a great time in Kansas City. Here's Pacheco, my guy.
Isaiah.
Right there with Patrick Mahomes. You see how he has a goat right there? So there you go. There's Pacheco. Apparently some great fun things happening right now in Kansas City. So again, congratulations, guys. I don't see any reason why that three-peat isn't almost a lock. So we'll wait. There's
Cap.
no. Well, they're second favorite. The favorite right now is San Francisco again, but San Fran don't have it, man. Do you know how bad Kyle Shanahan is? So in the fourth quarter of Super Bowls, he's been outscored 68-12. That is like, and he screwed up, like that Super Bowl was brutal, how they handled the fourth quarter and the overtime. Like why you take the ball, like honestly, there's so many. Anyways, all of you guys in San Francisco are obviously furious, so I'll leave it at that.
It's a very much like a control the running game offense, which is, it's one of those things that like it works really well over the long run, but when you get up against a really good team, sometimes you're going to have to drop back and make your quarterback win it. So when you have a quarterback who relies on the system, the play calling and whatnot, you know, like making that play happen, it's just that's not how they're built, and his teams are never truly built that way. Whereas the Patriots are built that way. Obviously, well, you guys might be built that way. We'll see about Love, but I'm hoping the Bills can be more built that way. But Patrick Mahomes, like he'll make it happen. He can go out there and win a game for you. But Brock Purdy's not at that point yet, and the Shanahan quarterback.
Well, and it's Andy Reid versus Shanahan too. I mean, you're not even in the
Legend.
same. You're not even in the same league.
Legend.
Shanahan, they could have won that game, you know, and they didn't.
Well, they also could have made an extra point. Like,
no, it's not that they went. They should have not taken. Like by them taking the ball, basically admits that they're going to lose, because then you're giving the Chiefs 4 downs. It makes zero sense.
That's actually, that's not that that's necessarily true. Like it's not what I would have done, but I can understand his logic for it, because I think
What's the logic?
The logic for it is that the only possession that's sudden death is the third possession. So he wanted the third possession, meaning if they match
they
each
weren't
other.
but that's where you're wrong. They weren't getting a third possession.
They could have though. That's the whole point.
No, but they weren't, because the
could
Chiefs
have.
were going for it on third.
But you don't know that before the period starts. You see what I'm saying? You don't know that before the period starts.
No, I'm just saying, like, everybody was like, why are they taking the ball? And I still haven't heard a good reason to take the ball.
Because of that third possession. I actually heard that after the
They
broadcast.
weren't getting a third possession.
Well, okay. I mean, it's
I mean,
factually.
they kicked the field goal. They're a bunch of, honestly, they're not.
Facts are the facts. Before it starts, you don't know how it's going to play out or what their approach is going to be. And in theory, they wanted the sudden death. It's not what I would have done. They wanted that possession. I didn't agree with it. But at the end of the day, I can see why the logic was there. But that's the thing. I want to go back to trading. It doesn't matter what I think. The question becomes like, what is his logic doing it? And as long as he can reconcile that, then it might be fine. I didn't agree with what the Lions did, but as long as they can reconcile it within their system, then ultimately it can be fine. Like I wouldn't, there's some trades on like those parabolic stocks, like I wouldn't do, but I've seen people make gigantic wins. It can be absolutely fine. And there's your coffee.
Ooh, thank you, Randy. It is hot.
You know, they don't hit the
in
Randy
here.
button much anymore. Oh, I kind of thought maybe they would hit the Randy button.
No. The bull's on this side, my guy.
Yeah, he's the one that put the.
Yeah, man, I'm the one that changed it.
He's the one that left it. I mean,
yeah, he's the one that left it. All right, let's just keep going on. So, by the way, like Alibaba is another one today. Like, look what we have on Alibaba. This is a one and done chance right there on Alibaba, right? I mean, it comes back in. We take it right off the 200 period. You know, you hit it and then boom, and now it's up to the high of the day. We only have that 10%, but like this is just another one of those trades. You know, we don't have any red trades today. Like, so we have ARM right now, you know. This is a Patrick Mahomes kind of day. We have ARM right here. We got BABA right here. You know, we got Roblox. Unfortunately, we're still up on it, but look at Roblox go. I mean, two have had these diamond hands. You know, hindsight, like the fourth down. That's Roblox, and then you're going to look over here, Uber, again, so we only have 4 trades. There's another one that's trying to make back to today's high. Unfortunately, we saw that $78. Probably should have been a little more aggressive getting out there, but we took the out at 77.12 or whatever that was when it broke the 50-period moving average, and now it's kind of just like hovering around here. So we'll wait for 77 again, 50 or so. We're not in Uber, but a pullback into VWAP, sorry, 76.50, not 77, that's at 77.50. 76.50, that's probably a decent spot right there for that. So, all right, that's what that is right now. I'm probably just gonna wait. As you can see, we had another opportunity to take ARM out just a couple seconds ago. Someone asked in the chat, am I taking this again? As we've already heard, I'm not going to take this again. We're still in it. Well, I mean, I have an offer, but it's all the way up here and like near VWAP. I'm not taking it right now. If it breaks, it breaks. You know, that's completely fine. It didn't break when the market was ripping. So let's just wait to see if it breaks now. And if it does, man. I mean, like I said, the damage is already done on that one. So congratulations to some of you that have been holding some of these trades all day. I said I've got to get better believing in holding into these. So, you know, we're trying to do that with ARM now. But realistically, if we turn this thing bullish today, we could still be in this. You know, we could be a little bit more into this one as well. But BABA, anyways. Some news here maybe about Meta, I'm hearing, but I got Benzinga in my ear. Like, they're the ones, you guys asked about that crypto story. I wasn't even able to find anything. I just saw Bitcoin was hovering around 52, right, all day. And now all of a sudden it's 51.3. So there was just something.
I still have the breakout. Like I should probably cancel
52,000?
Yeah, I sat there with the breakout order looking for the 52,000 break literally all day long. But I don't think we're going to get it. Maybe we do. Maybe it's tomorrow. I didn't mention Rivian, the VWAP trade. Yeah, I got some bad wicks on Rivian, but it did just bounce off of the low. The low of the day here is like 15. Sorry, the low of the actual morning low, 15.38. It just keeps bouncing off this tight range, so it's short 50s down into that low. We'll try to rinse and repeat it, but I just got out of Micron on a trail, so that just broke the channel back to the upside. So we shorted at VWAP, just got at 81.50. Gonna ring the register on that one. It's the same trade. It's a VWAP retracement, same thing we did in the afternoon yesterday. If it gets back up anywhere, I don't want to say anywhere near it because I want it to get to VWAP, and then curls in this range, 82.20 to 82.35, I want to short that curl on that. But if we're going to go bullish in a chip name, it's got to be AMD or Intel for me. These are the clear, strong ones. We're not really getting a dip on on an AMD. However, Intel is trying to creep into VWAP here. So it's held at 43.8. I like that support level. It's the one, that we were going long all morning on. Maybe my 15 minutes going to be a little bit better here. There we go. So there's that 43.8. Like the level. I'm going to make sure it's like yesterday's resistance, turn into pre-market support levels, and then bounce off that same 43.8. If we get that dip, we'll go for it. So there's been some questions about SoFi. There was news for SoFi. It was like an NBA deal.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. They got like, it was like the official bank of the NBA or something like that. It was, and they also donated $1 billion to whose charity, Patrick? To Jaylen Brown. One of the Boston guys' charities, but there was a partnership with the NBA, SoFi. That's the news. It's up 3% today. It's not screaming higher. If you'll remember, and for anyone that's been trading it recently, like if it breaks 850, it's not just the 50-period moving average. But if you come to my daily chart for SoFi, there we go. Look at that's exactly $8.50, and you'd be breaking the 50-period. That's where I'm excited for SoFi. Break this top, break an 850 top, and we're going long. I don't think we're getting that today. I don't see the velocity in this move right now to get to 850. Tomorrow we could get it. I don't want to throw it out the window. If 850 breaks in 25 minutes, I'll probably take it. Let's be real. But the market doesn't seem like it has the velocity for it to happen today. But good rally for SoFi. I don't know how much of that is it's bouncing with other things, or maybe there's excitement off the NBA deal. Ultimately, does it really matter? Technically, it's going up. An 850 break is an 850 break, regardless of reason. As long as there is some kind of reason making it happen, I want that break.
I got to give a shout out to HIKI. What's up? What's up, my guy or girl? I can't tell. Disney call. Yeah, man. I mean, we've been honestly pretty with those calls on Disney. I mean, Disney's been really a rocket ship, man. I mean, we had. I mean, first of all, where's my market recap thing? There it is. Join me every single night on the market recap besides Friday when we film the podcast, where we've been asking for a long time, every single guest pretty much that was on, all about this. You know, I like Disney because it was above the 200-period moving average. We had first bought some into that level first, and then we bought more down here because $80, we were screaming and shouting, man. It's just like SPG. I don't know if Daryl's in the chat or not, but you know we loaded up on Simon Property Groups, and then it, like down near the bottom. That was what got me into JP Morgan long $80 or whatever that bottom was. There were some good bottoms during COVID, obviously on a lot of stocks, but there was a few that hung out there, and Disney was one of those. And again, the reason why I picked on Disney was just not picked on it, but why I went back to it. For COVID reasons was that, like, when the world is shut down, obviously Disney is going to be a problem as travel's not the greatest, right? So anyways, long story short, which never is, this was above the 200-period moving average into earnings. We were pretty nervous about it, right? But the 50 and the 200 cross, I have no idea what that's called. Let's just call it a cross. And then boom to the upside right there, right? So like a golden cross is called, I think they say like 25 of the last 2 recessions. So anyways, kind of like Michael Burry. Look at this, 112. So anyways, the idea about Disney right now is a break of 112. So I feel like tomorrow, if we get more good news, then this is the one. So we're going to have to watch Disney. We're not in it today. We were in it yesterday. But right now, NVIDIA's apparently starting to go upside as well. We did take a reload at 90 here. Let's just see if we can punch out in the mid-60s. And there it is again, man. The airplane just dropping in cash right now for all of y'all ARM traders right there. So we just got short at 90 and just got out at 61. So 31 more cents. It's not great, but it's on a little bit of a reloaded position. And we are nervous right now. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say is that I thought I saw NVIDIA blasting again. Well, it's taking out VWAP and trying to break, not blasting, but it's a couple candles straight to the upside right now as we go from 727 to 732. Let's go deal with some business.
Take two. Brought to you by, as always, our friends over at Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment with our friends at Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description, or you can use that QR code bottom right corner for 20% off.
Ponzi Fonzie mentioned that Boeing plane coming off the door. Did that happen again or what?
No, not again. Come on, not again.
No,
that
I
can't
don't
be right.
think so.
No, we'd had that on Benzinga if that was true.
Oh, there's Nelson Peltz talking. Oh, maybe that was before about Disney. Maybe that's what you meant about is there a call going on for Disney? Is that what you meant? Or the call that Disney would go up? I don't know. But anyways, okay, so just FYI there, ARM obviously breaks through 28s, and there's the out. So, you know, we got out. It broke. Now it's coming back down, but you know, we take the out when the out's there. It broke through VWAP, that's the call. Now, of course, it's probably gonna tank. Normally, I would get back in, and if there's no difference to normally, then I'm just gonna do it right now. All right, so we'll try to go a little more short there on a break back down for ARM. It just broke higher. I just realized, like, we didn't even really lose, like, we lost on that last part of the trade, but I'm gonna give it to 128, like 60 or something like that now. We only have a pretty small position. Now this could be the one, right? So we've broken above, we didn't keep going. Now let's see if we can get back. This trade, we're short right here at 128. We're gonna give this 60 more cents to see what happens. So here it goes. Now it's really trying to go. So again, as we're now above VWAP, we're above all that jazz. So get ready, man. This is the ARM trade here that the bulls are looking for. It's finally starting to get going, and then we do have a break also on NVIDIA and potentially the market back up to 17.8. This is the thing, like when the market gets to a key level like that, you're going to get like some sort of exuberant buying, but it stops at 17.8 and now it's retracing back down. So I feel like maybe the best name to trade right now would be like an Apple.
What's that?
I don't know, just because it's been weak all day and that's still low. But I was just thinking that if we got anywhere up on this 17.8 potential break, then it's probably a fade back down. So yeah, the chip names really seem to be going now. So
I just jumped back into,
I almost think it's a long.
almost said Rivian, Micron, but look, AMD was about to break, bit of a false alarm there. AMD was pennies away from taking 177.50. I mean, it got to 43 or 44 and just a bit of a turnaround. If it makes the breakout, I think it should be a long. I mean, it's super strong right now, but I've done this before where like I get out on a trail and then I see a stock holding that bottom and it's a relatively weak name like Micron underneath the low, it ends up wicking me out. Okay, well, I'm gonna jump back in the trade. I have 71.5, so really like you could round up or down. Sometimes I don't know why it rounds up or down. It's weird because sometimes you think it should always round up. That's how math works, but whatever. I have 71.5 as my short, and I'm gonna give it to this 86. If it breaks this 86, I'm out. 12, 15 cents worth of risk depending on slippage. And once it goes past the break at the low of the day, just a 1-to-1, I'm gonna get some out. I think VWAP would be a separate trade, but I want AMD. If there's gonna be a long for me in the chip names, like why not this one? I would vastly prefer to get some kind of a dip in here. 177 maybe. I obviously like VWAP, but I think that's asking for a bit too much. So maybe a shot at the 177, give it to underneath the 90. This is the strong one, at least from what I can see. I mean, NVIDIA trying to break as well, but this is also very strong. AMD. It's one thing stocks battling to try to break out VWAP. AMD's been leading the charge all day long, unless you guys tell me. Like, and I know SMCI makes moves, but that stock, the way that I would prefer to trade, if we had this conversation before with you guys, the way that it breaks levels is vastly different. Liquidity is vastly different, and if you don't want to be trading names that have a lack of liquidity, then it's one that I like to stay away from. AMD perfectly good, NVIDIA perfectly good. That one's just different.
Here's one, ADIL right now, up 70% and trying to go. So I don't really hear too much here, but it is ADIL. And just went to $2.20. That looks like, we've been here before. All right. Yeah, guess what happened here? Reverse split.
The dollar bounce off the reverse split.
It's just like the splitting of stocks and everything like that is basically, I know that Brian Shannon, and there's been some things saying that Cathie Wood is like the single largest destruction of wealth in the history of all time. Reverse splits aren't far away from.
She doesn't own Mullen.
From that, But I mean, it's just like this is a 20-cent name, and then all of a sudden it's $7, and all of a sudden it's $1 again. So it's like, if they didn't reverse split this thing, it would be like negative value. Obviously, we're just joking. But anyways, it's just like, this is what happens.
It wouldn't be on the market. if they didn't.
Well, yeah, but remember, like 10% down on 20 cents, it just incrementally goes to like 0.
I just mean it would be delisted. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. So that's part of the reason why stocks reverse split is because they get that NASDAQ warning and they can only be viable for so many days
That's
underneath the
sad.
dollar. But
If you go back to that daily chart for a second,
yeah,
and you look
that's what
at
I'm saying, it's
like
right
the
at the
first bounce off of $1, it's even
right
buck,
here.
right? Like whatever that
today.
low is, the one before, like
oh yeah, yeah.
whatever that
What's
low
all
is,
this?
and then it makes that
$1.
second bounce. Hey, double bottom at $1. That's not that hard to sink your teeth into risk to reward. Throw a stop at 90 cents.
Right, that's actually a good call.
At least that way, if you have that, like you could be long at like 105 with a 90-cent stop and maybe stock moons. But at least you're not going to get destroyed on a trade like that if you try to take it. I did just get the dip on AMD.
Nice.
Long AMD and short Micron, but I mean one's relatively strong, the other's relatively weak. At least there's that going for me.
Guys, just really quickly here, you might be right. Someone said Chamath is probably the biggest destroyer of wealth. Yeah, you may be right on that one.
No, but
Okay.
inflows, Matt, I think it's not percentage, it's got to be the raw dollar.
Right. It's just listening to that guy would destroy your wealth. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so I just want to say, right here, just quickly, there was something on here. Oh, I want to say what's up to Vin here. I think you might be right. That's why I called up SMCI. I could see this splitting. That would, to me, that would make a lot of sense if we get a split from SMCI at some point. I mean, this has been absolute. I feel like NVIDIA, so, all right, do you want to hear what I think is going to happen with NVIDIA? All right, this is what's going to happen with NVIDIA. It's not going to be a good quarter, okay? Let's just see. This is a prediction. Probably no one else is going to say this. But what I think NVIDIA is going to wind up doing is they're going to sneak in there a split. And that's going to really get people excited. And for good reason. Because if this thing splits 7 to 1, I mean, even more than that, go 20 to 1, like whatever. If they bring this stock down to $40,
Options.
what exactly, like options are going to be less expensive. There's going to be so much more volume on this name. It's going to be like a 10% move then is $4, like we could do that right off the open every time. Now it's $70 move. They could do nothing. Look, like just open up CMG or anything like that. Chipotle's at 2,500. There's lots of names that are like that, obviously.
Broadcom.
AVGO is another great one. SMCI, honestly, although SMCI is up
Wow.
200% this year. But okay, long story there. But I think NVIDIA, I think they'll have a good quarter. It's just I don't think the guide is going to be as good. And we've seen what happens when people guide lower, see upstarts, see some of these things. I just wonder what number has to be baked into NVIDIA. You can see its current PE and all that kind of stuff. It's a very, very lofty expectation. They've fallen. I actually was going to look this up, and I meant to Google it and find it, or chat GPT it or something. What's NVIDIA's performance over the last basically like 3 quarters, maybe day after earnings, so on and so forth. I just think it's been very, very extended on some of those days, and to the downside. And like I remember that, like, if you look back here, this August quarter, huge move up, then swoosh to the downside. And I believe it was their very first quarter when everyone was starting to talk a little bit about AI. I think it was right here. This was the quarter, May of 23. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. So this is when they went from 3 billion to 9 billion. So that was monstrous. So that was May, June, July, August, right? So I feel like we're right. This was there it is right there. So there's 515, right? I said this story yesterday to Brian Shannon on the recap show. I said, you remember when NVIDIA reported a banger quarter back in August of 23? That's not even that long ago. And then this happened the very next day. So we were at 515 in the aftermarket. Then the very next day, we went all the way down, touched 470. So, you did get some movement down, and then the wick, I don't know, that wick can't be right to 408. But that next move right there, 450 the next day.
That sounds right.
So that's
I think it was 75 the first day, and then I think.
Yeah, anyway, that's 10 or 15% down there, and the quarter was great, and the guide was great. You can go look it up. So I think that if you lose 10% now, then you're looking at all the way back into here, right? Like 640. Well, again, I don't know where this is going to be at when it's earnings, but 10% on 720 only gets you back here to 660. Then once you break this level, then you're starting to look. So anyways, let's see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen with their earnings, but we're going to find out about it. Anyways, what is that ADIL doing? And it will just 186. So glad we talked about it there at 220, but it's starting to fade out a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying I just feel like no matter what they report, it's very difficult for it to be good enough. Because all the good news has been coming in, and you've been getting more of it, like because everyone's talking about how much they're spending, which is good for it, which is good for them because everyone has to spend with NVIDIA right now. So all the good news has been ramping in to what is apparently a potential top for NVIDIA, and maybe even a top for some of the other chips. Speaking of tops, we'll respect the top here on AMD. Got the dip buy off 177. It got halfway to the top of the range. It's a 40-cent range. As I said, I give it to 90. So once it got a little better than 1-to-1 because it got 20s in there, we took some out there. Now I'm going to hold through the high of the daybreak. So that's good. I think 178 is a logical level. But this is 172.5, has some size on it. It's also a top if you go back to, that's Monday. Yeah, go back to Monday's high. It's the same 172.50. So instead of taking the breakout, I wanted to buy the dip going into it. The downside is as that goes up, Micron is sliding back to the upside on me. So I shorted it, and now I got to zoom back out. I shorted it off of that double bottom, which broke, got stopped out there, trailed out of my short, and then got back in, give it to the same local high. Very good chance if AMD takes the market higher, this is going to get back to VWAP, where I would try to put something on there one more time. So AMD breaking that high. I think we can get to the 178 level here. Super strong mover today. AMD 3.5%. And remember, like it's getting into, like I think I'll take it $1 at a time because it's getting into heavy resistance up here. The closer it gets to 180, this has been rejecting the you-know-what out of 180 for a while. So I'm not really thinking this stock should be past 180 today. The market ain't that strong. Now, so take it $1 at a time.
New highs.
It's AMD's crazy. And if you think the valuation's nuts on NVIDIA, look at the PE on AMD.
All right, so I like Michael Burry a little bit better now. Thanks to Adara for this. Here's an updated portfolio of Michael Burry. You guys know I just recently bought Alibaba at 72 and change. So his largest equity holding.
I'm with you, Michael.
Is Alibaba.
It's my smallest. No, just kidding.
Yeah, so there you go, man. So there it is right there for Alibaba. It literally probably is my smallest, but there it is. All right, and then obviously one of the more recent buys, I mean, I've never even seen this before. The one that I tweeted out before a while ago was not this detailed. So this is Michael Burry. I don't know, but there's Amazon, Google, everything there. So I almost feel like I don't want to talk about it unless I know it's, so there it is. So he has socks as a sell. Oh, he sold his socks. So he sold the put. So he just got destroyed on that.
Oh yeah.
Again, I don't know. This is just from Carbon Finance. We haven't vetted this or anything like that.
But Baba and JD, both of them.
But anyways, yeah, as we go. So just seeing Oracle, Citigroup. This just looks a hell of a lot like Berkshire to me, man. So I don't know who this guy thinks he is right now, but you got a lot of good banks. You got some decent tech names. Baba is a Charlie Munger play. Amazon's in there. He's always had Booking, Google, like I said, Citigroup, and then mixed up in here like Warner Brothers. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not exactly like Berkshire. It's not 60% Apple, but anyways, a little bit of everything in there.
Block, too.
It does look a lot like my
I guess
portfolio.
that's Toast. Is that, I don't know what that one, the orange one next to Warner Brothers.
This?
No, next to Warner Brothers.
This? Yeah, it looks like a piece of toast to me. That's Block there. Vital Energy. Anyways, all right, thanks, Adair. Go find that on my Twitter.
No Geo? What's going on there,
Yeah,
Michael?
wasn't he on Geo for us?
Hasn't he always owned the Geo, the prison stock? Okay.
He made a call on that. That might have been one that he was.
That was like,
out on.
I kind of felt like Geo was one of his best moves of recently because that was a really good stock. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. I just find it interesting because it feels like that's a bit of a shift from, I suppose, what he normally has going on. But that's a decent bet on China. I'm hoping it works out because I've gotten into, for the third time, I've gotten into Alibaba in the last 2 years. I said I'll take it a bucket at a time, which means the 178 level incoming here on AMD. It feel like it's running into a bit of resistance. The other thing that's going to happen simultaneously is 17.8 on the NASDAQ. So I grabbed it in front of 177. If it cannot make this break, oh, come on, get there. I'm at the 90s. I want that out. Might just have to take something a little tighter to the 80 level. This market just doesn't seem to want to break 17.8. Like, it's just, that's the resistance. Now we're not following through off of that level. Is what it is. I'm going to take it and run there at the 70 level. Quick scalp trade, but when I see resistance on two things, both the stock that I'm in front of the even dollar and that 17.8 in the futures, I'm going to take the money and run. So very quick, not looking to gift horse them out. If it makes another leg up, it's 255. You have 1 hour for it to make another leg, and if it gives a dip buy, we can always try to get back in on a higher low. Maybe it's 177.50, maybe it's 177 itself. And thankfully, Micron is still hanging out in the same range. So while that was going up, AMD, Micron is just chilling at the low. So it's still the weakest of the chip names, at least this afternoon, the weakest.
All right, another 50-cent winner. ARM. So now we're short 128.10. I mean, you know, boom. Let's see where ARM goes. Here we go. 70 cents in the money now with ARM. Wow, our net's getting a little spicy now. Okay, so I just want to talk about a potential break there for Uber. Let's see if that one wants to go to the upside or to the downside. Either one would be fine right now, but we're going to have to wait for Uber. So there's the break higher through 78 is what I'm looking at. So if we get a pullback to 77.50, fine. But right now, let's just go find out what's going on with Uber. It's the #1 stock today. It was the #1 name here on the sticky note. And if you're going to do anything, like we had Google long. We wrote down 144, and I want to thank Brittany there in the midday. She was like, "Dude, go over there and look at Uber, or go over there and look at what your call was on Google." There's 144 long. It's like we have it right here on the sticky note, right? So we had Google long, we had LYFT, Uber. We talked about that hood at 1385. And then you know what? Let's forget about it. I don't know if Google's going to come back or not. Let's just go over, look quickly at Tesla. We marked down 182, sorry, on the sticky note, and we can go over why. I mean, the levels are there. We talked about those. At the end of the day, though, there was a little bit of news when when Tesla was flying back or coming into the downside. They're flying down, I guess. It bounced at 183. There was some news there about Delaware, and I didn't understand it. You could see it's a nice move back up there to 187.50. That could be the top. Apparently, there's decision about Trump's case. Would that be NYSE? I guess supposed to be out Friday now. I'm just hearing in my ear. So if you're interested in that, then I would say that would make sense why DWAC right here may be a little bit of a move up. But this doesn't seem like a lot of volume to me. So we'll wait for that, 750K shares. So Neil and I will always talk about, taking risks and where you guys want to get out. I just got a piece out at the 50-period moving average here. That was about, we're short at 128.07, so that's 48. So that's 50 cents. So we took that piece out. I think I want to see if ARM can really give this. So I don't have any more bids, but we'll wait to see what does happen for ARM. Hopefully we'll come in and we'll be able to get that. UPST, what else you guys want? Thank you so much, Paul ED. Airbnb flying. The only problem with Airbnb is I just want to stick in. Like I've traded ARM, Alibaba, Roblox, and Uber today, 4 names. And they've all done well, and 3 of those 4 are on here, not Roblox. So Airbnb, I feel like that trade was right here, breaking that high. We sort of talked about that at 47. For me, and the thing is that, see, this is even maybe trickier because that high is made right off the open there. So I always like to look and say maybe you want to play breaks of the pre-market high on earnings. So that was really choppy. That's a really tough trade. Like that's the problem. You see how Airbnb goes down here and hits 143 and then now is up to 149? Like what changed, right? It's like we don't know the momentum. Like why did this sell off so much? And now all of a sudden it's all the way up here. This is why you're going to continuously hear me talk about why. First of all, it's almost let's just do this. Let's see if we can get, Bob is 90 cents in the money. It might have already been a dollar club, but I don't know. So that's the problem. So what you have to do now is once it's settled down is look at this 50-period moving average, especially in the last hour, hold. So that would be something to look at now for Airbnb. So that would be my look on that. Maybe a look at 148.50, and then if you break, maybe give it $1? I mean, I don't know. I think $1 is probably reasonable. 147.50, but not a name for me. But thank you for asking. It's Airbnb.
I don't know if with 1 hour to go, I don't know if it has the room to, like in the morning when you give something like that $1, you got all day long for it to work. I think that's what changes in the afternoon. Because like,
much time.
what happens when you run into a 150 level at like 3:30? Like it's more difficult for it to break 150 and then get to 152, 153. I see a lot of people talking about Palantir here.
Yeah,
in the
because
chat.
they want to piss me off.
But I mean, look, this is nothing. Look, Palantir is up 5%. Like I don't want to throw shade on a stock up 5% into a flat market. Okay, the market's up a little bit, but it's not really going that much. It's held 25 very nicely, but I'm not really seeing a lot of acceleration here, which is generally, I just want to see it moving a little bit more than it is. AMD just broke that 178. It's continuing to go. Did that NVIDIA break happen yet? No, I don't think it did.
I'm only on ARM, but the S&P, I mean, like we talked about, NASDAQ and S&P trying to go back to day's high, man. The S&P is right now, I was gonna say at day's high, but it's not because we have this right there. But you're trying to break through 5K again. So watch out for that right now. And then the NASDAQ is 17.8, trying to break through that right now. So these are some key levels, man. 17.8 was key yesterday. We'll see if it can hold again. I mean, this is the last time we tried to test. This is a 30-minute chart here. So we got as high as 17,850. So just to answer some people's questions there in the chat, if you're going to look for short, I think you don't take it at 17. That's pretty muddy right now. It's not. I mean, you could take it here 17.8. But then I feel like if it's going to be a bigger position, I don't know if you want to hold it 50 handles against you, but you're kind of dancing around. So I would say take it and then give yourself like maybe, that's not the futures, give yourself maybe to whatever that wick just was right there. 10s, 8s, 6s. So like right there, you'd be 1-to-1 now on the break back down because it just touched 90s. But you see very, very indecisive candle trying to move back and forth. When you get a top wick like that and then right back in and then a bottom wick, like here, let me zoom that in. This is like the candle of indecision here. One followed by another. Like, so at a key level, and why I call that the candle, because you see how you wick to the high side? So all the buyers got exhausted, then it got slammed down now. So now if they take out this bottom wick, then you can almost confirm the short. So there it is. So now the short's coming in. You see up here, this doji star? You see this is all the way up, and then there's the doji star reversal. So that is a small bar candle with a high wick. So that's the doji star bringing it all the way back down. And then you almost, I mean, that's kind of like a gravestone right there, but not as dramatic as that. But there it is right there, signaling another move up. Look at that wick you just got. Look at that wick, down to 1785. So yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot of indecision right now in this market up here at 1800. Yeah, I am, so I do have Uber smacking this. So through 78, let's see what happens here on Uber, man. We had this call. It's the call of the day, quite frankly, or Palantir at 2380, which we don't have. At least we have this one written down on the sticky note to buy Uber off the open. So we were long at 75. We should still be long. But let's try to rectify that with a little 78 break. And honestly, if it breaks, let's hold it all the way to here. 77.50, 77.60, wherever the 50-period moving average is at that time. So let's see what happens here. Maybe we get that. Thank you so much, T-Daddy. But we already talked about the GOAT, and Isaiah Pacheco had the GOAT.
He did. You know what? He's a lot of fun to watch. I'll tell you that. He may not be the best running back.
He runs angry.
But that guy, you can never question, when he gets the ball in his hands, you can never question how badly he wants that yard. I'll tell you that much, and that's all you can ask for. And you can even catch the rock. I think he's underrated at that. Someone asked in the chat, when are Coinbase earnings?
Right.
Remember we talked about how good our English is this morning?
Yeah.
Tomorrow after market is there's a lot of good earnings. I mean, Thursday we said this.
Coin is tomorrow?
It's a battle between. It's a battle. It was a battle between this week, Tuesday after market, because look at all the fire there was in movers, and then Thursday after market. But don't worry, the market recapture will be just as good today because at the end of the day, you have a lot of day two action. You've got the chips going absolutely crazy. We'll get the earnings board up whenever you want for tonight.
The biggest one is Cisco.
But Coinbase tomorrow, like you saw that sucker. By the way, indecision. AMD can't decide what it's doing at 178 either. So that's a little bit frustrating if you're looking for a trade off that. Coinbase got to $160.70 today. That's the one I'm missing. This is under 150. In the pre-market, under 150. And look at the breakout this bad boy did on the daily here at 150. And it went right to, like, talk about We're going to break this level, and we're going to go right to the exact top at 161, and we're just going to go there clean. So Coinbase, we'll see what they can do, but you got to punch through that top. I just sort of marked this off. I just put this line in here today because that was the resistance on the daily chart. Once it came into play, I want to make sure that I'm ready for it. Gap above, hole beneath, doesn't really matter. That's the key price level, at least in the short term for Coinbase, and I want to try to respect it. The market is now going high. AMD decided the other side of 178 there. The concern for me, of course, is going to be I'm short in Micron. If it stops out, it's stopping out right there. The same place we trailed out at VWAP, that's where my stop is going to be on Micron. Rivian, maybe a couple more cents. I'm short 49. I think I have my stop just above the 55 level. It's got to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. And you're right, Fog. There are often times when the Fog in the chat just says,
like
you guys frequently misuse the word I for me or like we. Like, it's weird. Like, I'll talk about a stock or a move in the market. I guess when you watch this every single day, like when you're watching the level 2 and you're watching stocks every single day, you tend to talk about the stock like we're doing this together, AMD, you and I. Like AMD's going up with me, and I know it's a figure of speech for a trader, but obviously we're talking about what we are doing in trades and not necessarily, like I don't mean we, like, hey, everyone go long AMD, or like somehow AMD is my bosom buddy and we're going to, and we're going to the beach when this thing goes to the upside. Nah, it's just a figure of speech. And if we do say that, then, obviously we're talking about our own positions, and you guys can call us out and correct us all you want. It's all in good fun. So back underneath 170 again on AMD. It really can't make up its damn mind. It's ridiculous.
So we just went long. I just heard Okta is going crazy here. It's not even going that crazy, really. It just broke through 88. I don't know. I saw maybe something with ChatGPT, but I don't, again, Okta, just one of those other names. Let's see where it goes from here. Again, we've talked about this, a Kramer favorite. It's in the right space right now, so let's just see what it wants to do. You've seen Okta here, very, very quiet. I'm actually really interested to see when these guys report, and I want to see what the short float is. Is it? Oh, you're already looking it up. Okay, what is the short float? 2.5%. Yeah, so it's not a big one right now. And of course, Okta engages in the platform enterprise. I'm just reading about it here. API access and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so good. So far, so good. Let's just see what happens here with Okta. So we went long at 10s, or what do we have, 15s, and we got out at 44. So that's 30 cents immediately on how many shares left? On 20% of that trade. So let's now wait to see what happens here with Okta. I have another offer higher than this, into the 80s. Let's see if it wants to go Okta right now. Not doing anything. So if it breaks back below sort of here, 87.80, we'll get it out. This is just a shot in the dark. I just want to talk about it because it started to go up. So obviously in hindsight, we would have got it all out there, but we'll see what happens now. That's Okta trying to go. Just want to talk about that position. And then unfortunately, guys, I don't have too much to talk about Uber because, oops, that's still Okta, Uber. There it is. So it bounced off. I'm glad we didn't get long. It didn't break 78, but it went right to 78. So, I'm hearing it.
What are they saying?
Okay, no, Okta just tweeted something. They're talking about workflows and OpenAI. They're just talking about it. There's going to be a discussion from Okta, something about OpenAI.
You hear about Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman, sent a warning out, or not sent a warning, made a warning to CEOs about whitewashing with AI in their conference calls, which essentially is, I suppose he's not really accusing people of saying they're using AI in ways that they're not in companies, but when the SEC fires a warning shot in the next round of earnings, you got to pay attention, because if people are making claims that they don't think are honest or truthful, maybe they'll start having to back off on that. And people have been saying AI a heck of a lot. And I think it would
to get boosts.
I think it would be refreshing if there was a little bit less of it, and then you would save it for when you actually had something. I think Apple's approach to it is actually quite refreshing. The market doesn't seem to always want to reward you for that.
Right. Say it when you have something significant.
Yeah, I tend to like. I like it. It frustrates me that Apple actually gets dinged for that. Google, to a certain extent, Alphabet gets dinged for that as well. I don't think that's necessarily the right way to go. But anyways, Rivian, new position alert. Oh, sorry. Position update. It's not a new position. We've been short off of VWAP several times here, but the last reload, there it is, breaking out, so we get out of it. Holding on for dear life is Micron. We're above 17.8, by the way, on the NASDAQ. That's the other thing. So I'm taking some out because we're above 17.8, and I guess I'll reload tighter to 81.8 in front of my out on Micron. But AMD is giving an interesting look here. It's underneath the 178 level, so it's maybe giving a dip buy as the market's breaking out. So if there was size at 177.50, that was the previous high of the day. I want to try to go long in front of 177.50.
Oh, I got that, Phil.
As the market seemingly going higher here. If we take out, if we hold on to this 17.8, there's at least 40 points worth of range till we get to the morning high. And AMD's been a relatively strong
Bitcoin's
stock.
starting to go. By the way, we just got another one, so we'll take face slap that. I got 88.29s there on Okta. Like I was just sitting there. I was kind of like, I'm gonna sort of tap out if it breaks that 80 level. So on the way back up, I just sat there at 30 because I was thinking to myself, 15 cents. Like this way, we will not be out on Okta, basically no matter what happens. So that's gonna be a good one. We almost had $1 there in ARM. ARM is keeps on bouncing. Like this is what we did yesterday. Remember, it was kept on bouncing, or this morning kept on bouncing off 28, kept on bouncing off 28. Well, right now it's bouncing off 27. 25, 21, 27.50 basically, having a hard time to go. So I feel like here we go, it's just bouncing off this. It's fine. I want to hold this. So just to let you guys know, we're not even in anywhere near what we were in here, right? So we're gonna have to wait for it and see if that does hit. Alibaba is still doing a dance that is at the day's high. Look at this bottom that we have. We're still only in 10%, 9 outs there. I thought we did pretty good. Buying 72.50s and then out right there. 72.90 out again there, 72.95s, but now it's much higher. And Alibaba, again, a name like I said, it's not like, oh my God, we're well in the money here on Alibaba. I mean, I just recently bought this down here at 72. It spiked up huge on earnings in the AM and then flashed down to red that day. Look at Bitcoin, by the way, 51. I know
maybe it is going to break. Oh, I canceled that order.
Oh, Coinbase at the high of the day again. So yeah, I think you were talking about
that. Stop.
That might be a good break. 161.
Wait a minute.
Wow, Coinbase is all the way back.
I already know what I have to do here.
161. 161. It might be a jam here.
I'm laughing at myself because my stop key, I set up my stop key to be different. It's different on on the Bitcoin than it would be on like a NASDAQ or New York stock, which is that's literally silly. I'll have to fix that tomorrow. But the 52 break could happen. Oh, it's like 312. Let me get to that in a second because AMD, I got a reload. It's not a reload because I got out. I got back into AMD. That's a more accurate way to put it. I got back into AMD. Got bad wicks there. It bounced off 177.50. On the way back up, I got 67s when it got through 65. Want to get some out 1-to-1 in front of 178 and then see how far it can go. But a lot of things moving, Bitcoin included. But that Coinbase, maybe it can take 161 today. Maybe that's a better break. Maybe that's a better break getting 161s than just taking the 52 on Bitcoin. But we'll see. It has to get there first. We have 45 minutes to go. Plenty of time in the market for things to go even higher. One of the things breaking highs. This thing breaking highs would be SMCI, almost 10%, and it wants $900. This is now, that's $300 when this all started in the middle of January. It is going to be a triple in probably one day. If it can make one more push like this, it's going to be a triple up in a month.
Huh. Yeah.
And look, I'm not tinfoil hatting or anything, but if you've been trading for a while, like it feels as if, like when we get pullbacks in the market or like with 10% retracements, it's like things like this start happening and then you get retracements in the market. Like this is a squeeze. It's 11% short float. I'm assuming the options are probably through the roof on this. I can only imagine they would be, so there's probably some gamma squeezing going on. But it's nonsensical. It's insane, SMCI. And what's weird, I don't know a single person. I know a lot of people that invest in the market. I've seen viewers that have bought this stock before. I don't personally know somebody that isn't in one of our chats or that maybe DM'd or something on Twitter that actually owns this thing. Like usually I know people that have gotten a piece of this move and I'm like, yeah. But it's almost like nobody wants that SMCI. It's hard to buy those tops like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have the flashy name that NVIDIA has, of course. All right. Do we have the earnings board? when we get a second, we'll do that. Cisco's on there. I just want to say one quick thing here. I am going to, this is going to be a really quick trade. If we can get long like 75 here on Uber and try it against a break of, this is, well, now this is 66. I thought it was a little bit lower. 10 cents worth of risk. Well, let's just stick with our plan. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find out if that holds, okay? So let's try that. 77.70. We'll take a fill, but we are also very interested in the 78 break. I just don't know if that's coming through. Okay, here we go. There's the earnings board. Wow. Oh, Fastly. Okay, we haven't talked about that in a while. That was a name that was running around for a minute. There's Oxy, so we'll hear, but you know, energy earnings are kind of lame-o. We'll see if they move around. They'll be
that bounce is lame-o, the Buffett bounce.
I actually have Oxy on our board for tonight. The two names that I was most concerned about was Cisco and Oxy, but I'm not even, they're not huge. That John Deere could be something there, as I'm still mad that I didn't get long at 350, but maybe we get it next time. So here's DE. I'll look at it on a chart for you guys. The reason why I like this name is it's a Danielle Shea favorite, and if she's my favorite.
Do me a favor?
See, look here. This was, hold on a second. This was the miss last quarter. I was waiting at in and around 350. That wick I don't think happened because I'm pretty sure I would have got filled. But this move down for Deere, I like it, down into 358. Well, what's the favor? It's only 380 though.
I'm curious, for anyone that likes Deere, like what's the reason for that over Caterpillar?
Oh, I have no idea.
What's interesting is like it's not that they're the same thing, but when it's adjacent like that, like I ask myself, why do I like Walmart more than Costco all the time? You know, like it's not like Walmart's been a good profitable stock in my long term, but it's like every single moment, Costco's kind of like been better.
Yeah, like 500% higher probably.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So it's like it's not that one's bad. It's just what's the reason? I know Caterpillar has been doing fantastic.
Has it been pulling back? I don't even know.
It's been doing really well, Caterpillar.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I was on that earnings board. I saw like I don't know Upwork. But I feel like if you combine Upstart and WeWork in a name, that seems like it's unfortunate to me. So
Upwork.
I don't know, man. I'd want to stay away from that. Let's combine two things that have not fared well, and let's have that be the company. But yeah, but Deere. I think it's a good story, no question, because they're very technological based as well. People don't think of them as a tech company.
Look at this market.
The market is now, we're solidly above 17.8. I'm not saying it's in the rear view, but once you get like 20, 25 points above or 15 points above, I think you can get there. AMD's back above 178, so rang the register in front of that. Now I'm shooting for 178.5 because it's every dollar at a time. The good news, at least temporarily speaking, is Micron's somehow still going down ever so slightly. Like at this point, the fact that it's even going down, I think, is a gift. So I'm going to get something out at the low of the day because it's not moving, and that's good because the market's going up. So let's be real. The market is pressing the highs of the day. I think eventually this could bounce off that bottom. If it breaks, then I'm just going to hold on. We got 12 minutes until the early look for the imbalances.
All right.
Plenty of time for this to go. Just as I got out of some of AMD there on the 178, it comes right back underneath. It will not sustain buying past 118.15, so 178.15. It gets up there and then it turns. Maybe, don't short strong stocks, but they're rejecting 178. I bet you someone around here is shorting 178, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not necessarily here, I just sort of mean in the market. See, I did it again. Like I said that as if someone on the floor is doing it, but I really just meant
I would do it.
Someone in the market is probably shorting this at 178 and AMD, and I can't say I blame them. It's making higher lows, but there's a big rejection happening. No one is buying above 10s and 15s on AMD.
All right, the reason why I'm not even looking right now for shorts, well, first of all, I already have the ARM short. That just like went again another 70 cents in the money, then battled right back. Like if this market ever turns, man, I mean, ARM could tank. I just want to see that, and it's probably not going to because it's a chip name, right? So watch out for 78 right now. So it's going to come in. I'm going to get long. So my stop out will be right here. I mean, it's pretty easy. We've talked about that. I best might as well cancel my other stop right now and cancel my bid down there at 76 because there's only a matter of seconds before this breaks, and we are going long on Uber. We were already long earlier. It was the #1 name here today. So looking back at this, like we were already long. I'm probably buying. I missed it again. Oh, that time. See, why didn't that go out? Uber canceled. Why did that cancel? I don't know. I have to go find
I
out
had a
why that
funky
canceled.
one the other day.
Last price, script stopped. I don't know. Why did that cancel? No. Oh man, oh man. We wanted
Lyft,
many more shares.
Someone just said Lyft short as Uber's breaking out.
Come on, man.
Call.
All right.
That's a bold call,
I have
Cotton.
to figure this out. Yeah, that is a bold call.
No, it's just the only reason I say that is like Lyft rides the coattails of Uber. So wanting to go short that in the moment that Uber is breaking out it seems a bit strange. It's not even at that high where it turns.
Well, you could get breakout fades.
You could, but
Like Uber could fade out here.
But this isn't at the high. Like if this was at the high, I might understand
77,
that. This is in the middle of nowhere right now on Lyft.
Well, I guess we shouldn't complain too much, except for the fact that I was buying. Like we should be long Uber. Like I don't know how far the break went. Like I missed punches before, so we could have missed it. But I got a script error there. I'm gonna have to find out what the problem was after that. But we're in it now, so whatever. Okay, so now we're long Uber. We don't have the price that we had hoped for, but we're okay. We're long at 9s now, 9s, 10s, 9.5 actually. So that's okay. We would have rather been long 4s or 5s, but we might have not had the opportunity to get that anyways. So now Uber's breaking. This may not work. This is me and Neil talk about this all the time. At the end of the day, you're going to get fake outs. You're going to get breakouts. I feel like there's a wrap there somewhere, but 77.70. So if we break lower than that, then we'll get out of it. And I just feel like it's really worth the risk to do this, and we're going to try it. I mean, Uber could continue to moon. I mean, up 13% is way more than we thought today, obviously. Like these were my longs earlier on in the, like, could you imagine this? Like I already punched long down here. Well, first of all, we punched 75 and missed it. I punched 78 and missed it. Hey, I guess that's what I do. Remember I missed that NVDA. I crossed up 20 cents. It went 50 or something. I remember you got that one. 74.60 right there and 74.30 were already the longs that we had. So now me punching long 78 at all-time highs for Uber at 330, 320 seems a little bit risky. I have to admit that, but that's why our stop is pretty tight. So back down in. If we break 77.70, fine. That will be a bad trade, but we'll take the risk here on Uber and not try to panic too much on this one. See if we can get back up. That high though was 20 before it stopped. So if we do get back into the 20 area, we should probably look at taking something around 10 cents on, you know, a quarter of it or something like that. So let's see if it can get back going. It's Uber. We'll see if we're able to hold this until the close.
So it wasn't a rap song, but I think what you're thinking about is breakdown, shakedown, you're busted. It's from Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, I was
It's
thinking
like one of
about
I don't
what it
remember who sang the song because it's like the 80s, and I was even young then, so I don't remember it. Ab in the chat, hey Neil, you don't have to do all caps. I notice you when you tag my name. When was the last time you took an Uber, and what's the average ride cost up there in Canada? I don't know.
I mean, I took one on Saturday.
Yeah, like it was probably actually it was a couple of it was.
I took two on
a month
Saturday.
ago. Like I don't use them that often, but when I'm in the city,
Here we go.
Like I'll tend to use them. I don't remember what the average cost, so I couldn't tell you. I also don't know what the.
thing.
Also, I don't think it's that much of a difference.
It's
here
the same.
in
I mean,
any
here,
other
answer your
city.
question. Same cost as what you're costing your city.
But I also don't know if this whole strike thing today is it actually happening. I know there
I'm
was
gonna call an Uber now
I know
and
there was
see.
the story about strikes today in the UK and the US, and they even mentioned it here for Uber, Lyft, I think DoorDash as well as drivers. So you guys let us know. I don't really know if it's happening or if it's going to affect anything. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's happening on Lyft earnings, but then Uber coming out with the buyback, which sprinkle a little buyback on that bad boy, and no one's going to talk about the strike.
So, okay, I can tell you right now I'll just tell you because I know my house is about 11 kilometers from the office. So we are downtown Toronto right now. I'm 11 kilometers from the office. I have a 20% promo. I have Uber One, but I don't know if that means anything to anybody else. It's only $23, and the guy's going to be here in 2 minutes.
Yeah, strike what?
So I guess there may potentially be no strike. But anyways, there it is. So without the 20%, it was $28 to go 11 kilometers. So, okay. There you go. So that's the answer to that one temporarily. All right, so Uber, again, we gave some props up there. It did exactly like we thought it would. It goes right back to the high and then fades again. So it's right here again. I got out at 10% the first time. I'm going to try to get out at another 10% right now. Even if I have to take 16s, we'll take it. There it is. We get out at some 16s. I still do have an 18 there. Let's see if we go. It's not... what we're trying to do now, it's 325. I want to hold this. So one more out at 18, and then we'll adjust our stop, because as the 50 period continues to rise, so does our net, and so does the stock, right? And so we have to be very, very specific. It's not, this is what I've made in the past, like looking down here and saying like, oh, this level 77.70. But then when it breaks, you feel like, man, the real out should have been here at 80. Not only did we have the 50 period, but blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to play that game. I'm just going to make it, see, and then my stop canceled. There's something, honestly, wrong with what I'm doing. I think it's when I hit escape. I've said this before. You might want to check your keys. I checked mine, and I might have to go in debug mode tomorrow, because when I'm hitting escape, I think it's canceling my stop order, my script order, for some reason, which is not supposed to do that. It's supposed to only cancel live, active, pending bids and offers, not potential trades that I have planned.
The different, yeah, well, you cancel, just for anyone that you're
I'll blame myself for now, but I feel like there's something there, that's all.
For anyone that's at Real Trading with us here, if you have one of the many, if you're one of the many offices, you know this, but we have an order log, and then your script orders, which are your stops, they go into a separate set of orders. So like cancels for one, they're different from the other, which I think that's a very valuable thing.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't want to treat those as the same thing. Like, there's a difference between my stop orders and my limit orders that are pending to the market at all different types of prices. So it bears mentioning. And you can also customize your cancel keys. Like I can say, I want to cancel all bids. That's one key. I want to cancel my closest bid, which if you're ever trading where you're like, oh, I want to layer into something, and I have 2 or 3 bids in there. Okay, I only want to take one, but I want to wait a little bit deeper. Cancel closest bid. I find that a very useful tool. Just to go back to some positions here, the NASDAQ is flying right now in toward the high of the day. So we're pretty close to 1% and up top here on the NASDAQ. Yeah, what tank? NASDAQ. AMD is still hanging out close to the high. It's at the 178, but there's still sellers up here. At this point, I've moved my stop up to break even, because if the NASDAQ's going higher and a strong name like this is not going with it, then I do not want to lose on that trade. Brother Mike, OMG, you're old, Neil. What did I say that gave away that I am old? You let me know, Brother Mike. Which is fine. It's fine. I've never pretended to be like young. On the trading floor, look, I'm not that old, but on the trading floor, it's definitely a young person's game, and we have a lot of great young traders that are going to be the next wave. You get to see it with Obi and Yannick, and you guys have all seen Max. I'm just happy to still be doing what I'm doing. When I started in this game, I remember I was out of university, and when I told my dad that this is what I wanted to do, he said, well, how long do you think that's going to last? I said, well, I'll give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, then in a couple of years, I'll probably work it at a bank like everybody else with an economics degree, or going into traditional finance type positions. And then after a year, he's like, well, how long do you think it's going to last? Well, like maybe after 5 years, it'll be okay. And then after 10 years, and then he stopped asking the question eventually, which to me was a little bit of success there. And I appreciate my dad for having an open mind. Like a West Indian household, it's like, get a profession. You should be a doctor, lawyer, accountant, or engineer. And my pops is an engineer, so I was going to be one of the other 3. And I'm not that big a fan of biology, so I was never going to be a doctor. I did go to school for accounting originally. There's always dad moments with me. That's just how I am. But I wanted to get over to something that we have not talked enough about as the market's going higher. Thank you, Tesla chart. Tesla continues to rally. Fresh highs on the day for Tesla. It just broke 188 and still undisputed.
Yes,
It's up 2%. It's not really undisputed today. I just like when it's going up. But the market is flying. It's at those highs. I don't know why Micron is not breaking higher, but I'm not going to complain about it. Market just broke the high of the day. Micron just went red on the day. Something is not healthy with this stock.
That's why you're short.
Right now. No, it is, but at the same time, I'm starting to think about when and if something happens on NVIDIA earnings day, do I want to just simply...
Not if.
Whoops. Sorry. No, I'm talking the if is whether or not I want to stink bid
on
Micron at look at this channel for a year. Do I not want to stink bid on NVIDIA day? If this stock...
On NVIDIA. I love that. What day is that?
The 21st. In 1 week, if NVIDIA takes this stock all the way down to an obvious support level, like why not? Just make a nice little quick trade, See if you can't get a quick 10% retrace into the middle of the range. Come on, a channel like that. If you draw trend lines and don't have this trend line, then you shouldn't be drawing trend lines. That's the way I look at it. This is the most obvious trend I've seen in the last year, is the one on my account right now.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that's when you draw it like that, it makes it look silly not to do that. You know what day today is? Uber day. Again, like I've still only traded 4 names today. Like, here's the sticky note again, and you guys can go, happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Oh yeah, Wednesday Wisdom, thank you so much for that, supporting that. And then here it is right here, look, it's Uber, we talked about it, man, it's Uber, it's the long, it's $73. We talked about why we liked it, man. There's a catalyst there today, there's the dividend, there's LYFT, there's breaking 52-week highs on Uber today. So there was, you might say, well, how's this guy celebrating? Because he's just long now, he's taking 25, 30 cents. This guy's crazy. But we are also long down here at $74 and got it out at 77. So again, we'll make the money on Uber today. It's all good. But again, we just got into the 30s, so we started catching out. I only have half of the position left. And on that note, I'm going to take some more out right here at, I thought it was 17, but I just punched 16s. So I should probably get some half prints there. It's fading back out. We just got a decent little move there. What did Brendan come with that number? I missed it.
205 to buy.
Okay, so not much happening there. Oh, you asked about space. So I think the problem with this is, and I don't know.
Why's up 13%?
I don't know which way it's going, but I did hear, I mean, you had mentioned there that there was a nuclear threat by Russia, apparently. And I heard it in my ear as well, so I don't care. I'll tell you whatever I hear from Briefing. Briefing is a sponsor. And anyway, so I just have the news in my ear, and I didn't see anything on here. But there was some kind of a worry, again, about, it's just funny because they were like, it's a worry about space.
Oh, it was a Russia space security threat thing.
Yes, so I don't know if there was a satellite that was found up there or if it was a Chinese air balloon.
Spoiler alert, if we got security issues in space, Virgin Galactic is not going to be able to do anything to help.
That's why when I thought
It's Virgin Galactic. They go into low orbit, and some people would tell you it's not even in orbit. All that said,
to help,
I will go. If the price comes down, or somebody wants to pay for me to go, I will go. I'm a nerd, and I would love to be able to see. I would love to see the curvature of the Earth. I think that would be on the bucket list. But my wife is dead set against it. She's like, "Are you crazy? It's safer to jump out of an airplane." It might be. I actually have no idea. I heard something about going to Brennan.
Yeah, I just want to confirm, guys. It was ABC that was reporting that, and they were allegedly targeting satellites in space, potentially. So nothing confirmed, though.
I mean, thank you, Brenda. But I mean, you know what, guys? Let's just go. Meanwhile, Travolta's like, what the hell are we even doing here? We're another dollar in the money. Like, let's go ARM, man. We're just piling on to the best stocks today. We're piling on to the ARM short. We're piling into the, and by the way, I took some more outs here on Uber. We're piling into Uber. We're getting out here. I just took some 14s, 15s. It looks like we're coming back down a little bit here. Let's just take some 10s. We're long right here at 04. Now we're done. I'm not going to take any more outs unless we get back up to the high. Forget about it, man. Let's just see where we go. We're fading back. If we break 90s now, I got to keep switching this. Like, if we break 90s, then I got to get out. So let's just put that in right now so everybody can see what I'm doing. 77, 89. Get me out of 100%. Let's go. There. Now I have at least physical proof. You know, so if this doesn't work, I could say, okay, I put it in. It looked like I set the order properly there. Bang! There we go. Hey, man, we are still here. It's ARM. There she goes. Down to 127. This is $1.40 now in the money on ARM. Like, this is going to be the number. Well, Uber and ARM could be close for the P&L for me, but let's just wait to see what happens with Uber. And let's see what happens with ARM. Right now, ARM is well above Uber on the damage done here today. Part of the reason why we hit that 130, that was probably the biggest one. We got out, didn't get out, but then it's all about this. You know, it's not just all about the base, it's all about the short right now. So as ARM continues to make that move down, we'll take $1 clean there. And there, whoa, okay. Now that I zoom in and see this, I'm thinking, like, remember last time we took it out on the 200? We should probably do it again. We're not going to do it again, okay? Because I want to see this thing tank. Let's get a little bit, again, it's the Wednesday wisdom, baby. We've already talked about that. If you guys want some Wednesday wisdom, here, how about this? Shout out to my wife, not just because it's Valentine's Day, but, well, whatever. I'm going to always shout her out anyways. Let me go over to my profile here just real quickly and show you the Wednesday wisdom that we just put out there if you want to go find it. A lot of you don't have X, which is why I've sort of switched over. Here it is right here. I thought this is pretty cool. So she put this out, Wednesday wisdom. Here we go. We just talked about this. Go find it out. Oh, we even have a little bit of what do they call these things again? Subtitles. Thank you very much.
Right.
Subtitles. In there as well. So thank you so much for everybody checking that out. Go over to @TraderTVSean or on X. It's the same thing, and it's literally bang. It's the exact same damn thing that's happening right now. We use the wisdom to go short. It hit the trade. Right? The wisdom moment is about letting this thing go. And if ARM wants to go to the downside, then let's let this thing bleed. But again, we'll take another piece out right here, 126.50. If we can get it, let's do that. We'll take that piece out. Nice move down. Look at that wick. Look at that wick. So we'll take another piece out at 126.50 if we can get it. Be greedy when you can. Look at this. There goes Uber again. When you're playing with house money, things seem to be a little bit easier. Let's see what happens there. Nice move upside there for this. And by the way, there's ARM. Let's go. There's Brendo. He's over there. What's up, Brendo, my guy? But there it is right now. It's ARM, and it's a tank city right there. Brought to you by Trader TV Live. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe to get many of these great trades every single day. So Neil's got Micron. The market's coming back down, hopefully a little bit for us. I just assume it is because ARM's coming down. But
it's at the lows of the day. But I gotta get to a super chat here.
Yeah, do it
quickly. Nate, thank you for the super chat. What site you get all the earnings reports for the week?
Adara.com.
I'm being dead honest with you. If you want coverage on earnings, watch the aftermarket recap show. But then in the mornings, our watch list is going to have all the notable earnings and essentially what you're going to want to pay attention to. Like, it'll give you the deets, that's what people say now, on the numbers, and then percent up, percent down. We go over all of our earnings as well. If you're talking about a single site that just gives you a list of the beats and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be able to search for that on Benzinga. They're a sponsor, but is that really the same thing as checking out the price action in real time and digesting the news as the stock is moving? I don't know that that's the same. If you're an investor, maybe that's all you care about. If you're a trader, I think you want to get a little bit more. So I think that's what the market recap's all about. And then in the morning, that's what the watch list, our free watch list, is all about. And it's all free.
Yeah.
And that's the best price in the world. Free. If you can come up with a better price than free, then, well, you can't. So I don't even know why I'm asking that. It's a rhetorical question. You can't. You can't do it. Yeah, there's obviously sites you can get the raw numbers from. We're going to give you that as well on our watch list. Despite the fact that we made a fresh low on Micron, it's actually bouncing here a little bit because the market is right back up to the high of the day. So I don't know that I want to get, it cannot break 81.50, and it closed at 81.53. This is a re-entry lower because I was never getting VWAP again. Well, I shouldn't say I was never. I didn't think I was getting VWAP again. It obviously could have happened, but we didn't get VWAP again. I'm just going to get out in front of 81.50. This is yesterday's close. Yesterday, it made a push all the way down past 81. Today is a different day. You can't think that two things, it's going to automatically repeat itself just because it has the same afternoon top or lower high. Doesn't mean you're going to get the same bottom here again today. Tesla is still an absolute rocket ship, though. Just continues to go higher and higher.
There's only,
there it is.
I was gonna say, look what Uber's doing. Who is that, Ram over there? Okay, there it is. Look at that, 78.50 now for Uber. We just took a fill there. I'm trying to let this go. Now. I don't even want to do anything with it. So far, so we have 4 trades, right? Today. Well, actually, Okta was in and out. Oh, here, I forgot to show you guys that. Okta broke. Well, Okta broke as soon as we did that. So Okta's a flat trade today. Okay, but needless to say, ARM, boom. So we've only put on 2 trades for you guys. 3 trades. Okta, ARM, right? And then Uber right now into the close. Wow.
That's interesting.
We punched long Uber 78. It's at 78.55. It's starting to go, this is already up 13%. And we already had it from down here. If you guys are still in this, I I don't know, man. I mean, this is really, really starting to go. And again, it's 4 names today. It's Uber for me. It's Roblox, by the way. Like, as if Roblox. Come on, dog. It doesn't matter. It went down there. Like, I'm not mad that I didn't hold it. Should have probably re-looked at it, but it wasn't on the sticky note. I tend not to do that. Alibaba, I mean, this is the long there. I don't know, you know, that's a couple bucks. Roblox, Baba, and then ARM. So like I said, ARM, Baba, Okta, Roblox, Uber. That's it. And we're gonna go today. So Okta will be red because we had to pay the fees to punch out. It's not that much red, but we'll go 4 for 4 with Okta owing somebody a coffee. All right, so that ARM is what that is right there. And again, thank you so much. I'm just gonna read this live. I have no idea what it is. $10. Appreciate the response. Learned a lot from y'all. You helped so many people learning to trade. That's the whole point. That's what stemmed this. This whole show. I've gone on rants all about that, about what we're doing, but I have to deal with Uber. So Uber right now, yeah. We're still here, and Uber still is here as well. Uber all the way up to 60s right now. I'm gonna put an offer at 65. Let's see if we get that. Like, I'm really impressed with this move here on Uber. Like, honestly, that break of 78 that we had, giving us 20 cents worth of risk. Remember, now it's at 78, but that was down there at 77.80 was that first trade that we put on. Well, now you're 60 cents in the money with a 20-cent worth of risk. So there's another 3-to-1 for you. Again, I don't do the best of holding all the shares. We've talked about that. That's actually what I talked to Patrick and Obi about. But we are still starting, there it is. I just took a 60 fill. Let's see where it goes now. We have about 15% left, and I'm just gonna hold this. Hopefully I say that into the close, but let's just see if it goes. Thank you, Monty G.
Yeah, and to you, Nate, there, like, the thing about the response is the show is about you guys, right? It's about the viewer ultimately. So if there's a chance to answer a question, I don't care if we have an answer, we're going to give it for you. And if we don't know, then I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer, and that's what it's all about. Because, you know, ultimately, whether I'm trading a stock or not, if it's worth going over and there's something we can learn from it, then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to go to the chart and all that kind of good stuff. I've oddly enough only put on 2 trades in the afternoon as well. It was AMD and Micron. The only downside is the AMD reload was actually good off 177.5, didn't take it the second time through. It is getting tight to 350, so if it goes there again, might be running out of time to grab that one more time. But again, go long, strong stock. Uber's a strong stock going higher. ARM's a weak stock going lower, go short that. Micron's a weak stock going lower, go short that. I can't say that enough. Go long, strong stocks, go short, weak stocks. I feel like if I don't say that once a day, then I'm doing a disservice. But if we don't take care of business at the desk, Brendan will, he wouldn't do anything. He would just say,
Correct.
Get to the desk.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and 0 commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm just rolling with what we have, man. It's 342. We will have those imbalances coming through. This is just another one of those days, man, today. All right, so into the... Look at Uber. Uber is that one, man. Uber is the one. And wow, this is great. This is great for the PI, the personal account PAs. No PI, no pass interference. Actually, that was a good thing about the Super Bowl. There was really no penalties, which was nice. Like no controversial ones.
Yeah, that was actually
at all.
great.
I don't even remember, like, there might have been like an offside.
Well, actually, there was on the Christian McCaffrey the trick play, I guess, whatever you call it, throwback. There was an illegal man downfield. It was clear as day. That should have been called back. Actually, San Fran should not have got that TD. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I didn't see it in real time.
Those are tough ones. Illegal man downfield because by the time the guys are blocking and then, you know, you're running around, you release the ball.
A lot of things aren't fair to linemen. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so I'm gonna take another out on Uber here at 70. I mean, honestly, guys, there it is. We take another. We just got filled at 69 there. All right, so just quickly, that's not Apple, by the way. APLE, that's hilarious. I've never even seen that symbol.
Pump it.
All right, so there isn't much on here. These are all from the broker. They will become official at 350, and the number that Brendan gives us and we get from Financial Juice is wow, Uber, man. I just have it up here. Like, I'm just in awe of this name, by the way.
Actually, Apple,
it's only from NYSE stocks. So, you know, we already had it, what was it, 205 to buy? So it's kind of like adding these all up and figuring out what's left on the floor and then giving a number. Wow, this Uber is really something else right now. And there it goes. Like, what a day, man. We not only did we top it off with Uber, but we also got $1.30 in the money with ARM and 75 cents in the money with Alibaba. So what a good one, man. And if you are looking at the time right now, I just want to give everybody an update because I know it shows the time at the bottom, but I don't know where you guys are streaming from. So right now live, it's 3:44:50, 3:44:51, 52, 54. Right now. So that's how long, and if you guys want to post in the chat, like where you're located and how far back, but right now it's 3:45:03, 04, 05 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. All right.
It just got hot again in here. But
Yeah, it's getting hot in here because of the trade.
That APL is actually, that stock's moving today. I don't know what this is, but apparently it's a REIT though. That's the downside. REITs don't. So the chart today looks interesting. Like if there's an imbalance, maybe there's a late day move, but then you see how REITs actually move, which is to say that they flat out don't in any normal sense of a trade. So I always like to, if I see a stock that I don't know, I want to call it up and maybe it's something tradable. You have no idea. I try to reload on Micron, but I'm going to cancel it because it's 3:45, as Sean mentioned. Right in front of imbalances, I don't want to add to positions if there's not enough time. So I'll just kind of hang on to what we have. If it breaks the low of the day, I want 30s. If it breaks this local high, that's essentially break even. That's like 70s. So I'm going to move the stop to 70s, give it a chance to break the low of the day. If the market's going higher and it doesn't want to get off the bottom, to me, that means it's relatively weak, at least a little bit. Sam saying SMCI is up only 84 bucks. I love the only part of that.
Only I have to go long then.
Only up $84. Wow, that is absolutely true. What's crazy about that is really it did the heavy lift. It did a lot of the heavy lifting not on the gap. It did the heavy lifting at the open. Sometimes you get a gap up and it barely goes. This did the work during the market. I think 900 could be an interesting level tomorrow. But I've been thinking, like, I don't know. Like it seems crazy to me that it would even carry through that far. But yeah, we could be looking at 900 break on SMCI tomorrow. Maybe they want to do a split. I have no idea, but this is the wildest move because it doesn't make, it's not about rationality. It's like ARM the other day. At some point, this is going to make a $150 pullback. Good luck predicting exactly when it's going to be. The best you can do is see the signs as a trader and try to join it. But if you're trying to guess tops on SMCI, I mean, you're probably already blown out, is my guess. When a stock goes up 300% in 1 month, if you've been trying to find tops on it, you're probably getting blown out. If you've been looking for spots that you can join selling, well, thankfully for you, there hasn't been many that are set up. SoFi break is too late in the day, guys. At 850, I already canceled that. If it broke 850 early enough, I like the level. I just saw in the chat there.
It had to be their rate right now.
Yeah, like if it was, like it's still 10 cents away and it's 348. Like there's not enough time for that break. I do still like it. I'll probably be there tomorrow if it breaks it. But just not enough time for that to go.
Where's my out on ARM? I just want to make sure. So my out is just, so anyways, my out was a break of 50 when we took this last fill. That last fill is a 30 fill. So 20 cents worth of risk and we made $2 there. So 10 to 1 on the ARM trade. Uber is, I mean, I can follow what these stocks are doing by my net. Like Uber just continues to go higher here. And honestly, like I don't know. Like if it comes out a bid imbalance, then this thing is going to go absolutely insane. Make sure you do join me tonight for the market recap show, where I promise you it will be amazing. We have Chris Brecher coming through. We gave some crazy trade ideas the last couple times. We're going to be talking about Cisco. We'll be reviewing some of the trades today. We'll be talking everything. So traders, stay late, so make sure you do that, man. I mean, we had a great day yesterday with Brian, and we're going to have another one today. So get ready for that. Yeah, Big Brech, I like that, says for profit. What's up for profit? Right there. Yeah, we're always trying to make, yeah, you could do some not-for-profit stuff. I think that's important. But when I trade, it is for profit, and we are today going to be 4 for 4, minus an octa attempt. I mean, that's 40 cents, that's 30 cents, that's losing 30 cents. So back and forth, we got at a 40% lost on 60%, which is why we have a petit peu net on that one back in. So, all right. what do we think? All right, you know what? I've always said this. Let me put an offer at 79 right now for St. Hubert's. There it is. We got it. All right, so there's the fill on that. And the reason why we're doing it is because we are 349 and 30 seconds. And just in a matter of time, 30 seconds to be exact, we will get those imbalances. And if Uber comes as a sell and goes to the downside, then I feel bad. But right now, we only have 10% left as we take out another piece there at 78.80. This trade was giving 20 cents worth of risk. It's now 80 cents in the money. So not too bad right there at all. And here we go, Neil. We are moments away from everybody's dream being, no, I don't think it's going to be a big number. They're big numbers on rebalance days, end of the month, stuff like that. We'll see what Brendo has. There it is. Okay, well, TLT, wow, LYFT with a big bid, man. We didn't even look at LYFT today. We looked at it, but I feel like I just stayed with what I was doing, man, and that was the biggest and the baddest of them all, and that is, of course, Uber, and there it is right now. Uber taking out highs, just went to 90s right now. If we can get something out in and around 79, like I just tweeted out, I can't believe we were long this name. It's $74 today. It's at 79. Okay, there's Intel with a sell. That might be, are you still in Micron Good? So that'll be helping out that maybe.
Not really doing anything.
Not doing anything, yeah. None of these things are doing anything. So the number from Brendo is 550 to buy.
It's kind of a nothing burger.
Look at the NASDAQ, man. Remember when we turned the bull around? You know, Randy wanted to keep it a bear. Come on, Randy. And we turned that thing around. So
yeah, you wanted to talk about long Lululemon.
Yeah, remember when he tried to turn this into a bear and I was like, no, that was earlier in the day, but we turned it to a bull early. So we were wrong there. It made the move all the way down. But you're going to end up 1%. Like yesterday, everybody was like, oh, by the way, we might get that Uber, man. That's crazy. We just went long at 78 there. And it's not like we punched a decent amount to put Uber number one now. But the idea here, it probably pretty much always was that, well, ARM is still there. The idea is that yesterday we were only down 1.7%. You're up 1.1% today. So it's like over 2 days, you divide that by 2, you're basically giving yourselves 0.3 down every day, which is like a nothing. So this is coming all the way back up. I feel like the market's along until we get NVIDIA, and until then, we'll just worry about chasing SMCI and all that fun stuff. All right, I just took it out at 90 because it failed at 79. I don't know where it's going to go, but obviously Uber wants to go higher. So far, so good here today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. 8 minutes until we get the market recap.
Yeah, I just got out of Micron. There was kind of cruising toward the bottom. I'm still muted. Little sneeze there. I don't want you guys to hear. But yeah, I'm out of Micron. You'll see no positions left. It did try to break the low one more time, move the stop to the local high, had it at the 70 level, just sort of moved it back in here because there was less time in the day. It is now 7 minutes to go. I think, you know, at this point we'll be done for the day. Nothing really standing out on the imbalances. Franz, look at Amazon going. I will look at Amazon. Did we even?
Oh, Franz.
Okay, I got a bad wick there. But Amazon, I don't even think I gandered at this all day long. Even Obi, I don't think, was trading this because he was on ARM. But wow, that's a good move. Amazon 1.4, which is better than the NASDAQ, obviously better than the ES because the ES is lagging the market today. And ooh la la, 171. Look at 171 here. Double top, double top. So we should like 171 tomorrow on Amazon. You think that's a key level? Well, it rejected it. That's 830. That's a CPI. It rejected underneath 171 and then put in the same high later that day to then put in the same top now twice. So that's a double top 2 days in a row on Amazon 171. So what I do is I go to my iPad, Amazon's already there, and I write 171, and then I know tomorrow morning that's one of the first things I will look at is that price level. Do I have to trade it? Stock could be gapped up to 172 for all I know. It doesn't, you know, I'm just, if it's here and there's a chance at a break or there's a chance at a fade off the resistance, I want to make sure that I'm ready for it. But knowing that, it'll probably gap away from the level. That seems how the market tends to do that to you. If you really, really like the level, it wants to trade away from it.
All right, I'm going to wrap this thing up and go over there and get prepared for the close because I think that's important. Okay, so I just want to talk about some trades that we're going to wrap up right now for everybody. So Alibaba, again, has been a nice move. It just made to the 50-period moving average. If we can get out in and around this 25, I think we should take that. So we'll offer 25 and see if we get it. It just runs us over, and that's that. Props up to anybody that just took the dollar with me there on Alibaba. I mean, let's go. Boom to boom. Huge. So that's a good trade there for Alibaba. ARM is now $1 in the money. We're bidding 127.11 right now, but I might as well just punch the heck out of this because hey, we're doing pretty good right now. There it is, 16s. Let's go. Face slap that one. Back and forth right there as ARM just goes boom to the downside. Another $1.30 or whatever. I mean, because it's crashing down. This is, you know, normally I'd sit here into the close, but again, for you, we'll do the closing show. And then Uber right now, 78.79, boom, we'll take that out right there on Uber as there it goes. You see a whole bunch of spit there. Out now and to close all the trades. We done, man, and that's gonna be a really good day. And as you guys can see, you can't go 4 for 4 and be red. So we talked about being red yesterday. Wow, look, there goes Uber. But anyways, nice move there. And of course, we get out of ARM at 19s, which is okay, or 16s, which is okay. ARM still going to the downside. Roblox, Baba, all of that. So pretty good trading overall today. Join me in just 4 minutes. And we'll have not too many exciting earnings, but we'll still have Cisco, and we'll do all that. So let's just figure out what we're doing on that one. And I just got the notes, some of the notes for the podcast. And I won't give anybody guesses, but we will be talking about Bitcoin.
Probably.
All right.
Which is actually topical.
Spoiler alert.
Well, is it shocking? 52K? 52K rejected today.
Twilio has earnings?
Shout out to Candy. Appreciate the super chat. I want to get to your question because look, if you're gonna be kind enough to give us a super chat, we're gonna get to it. Can you give your opinion on Mara at this level? Do you think it has more upside the rest of the week? So, speaking of Bitcoin did make a top here at that 52,000, and it's a very big resistance level. Once, twice, thrice, rejecting the afternoon as well. If you pop this to like a daily chart, actually, yeah, let's go to a daily chart here. On BTC, is it even gonna load up? You know what, it's not gonna go. I have my date, let's just go right over here. If you look at the daily and what's been going on, it is also it's a consolidation. So this is what I'd be watching out for. Because if you pull back from this level on BTC, you're running right into, on Mara, look at the previous highs. This was the last time it was at this price. It went from 14, 16 consolidation, broke out, failed above 30, put a lower high right in that 29 to 30 range. There's the 30 level, there's the 29 level. That's exactly where it is now. So it's in the resistance zone for the same move up while Bitcoin's at resistance. So I think you need to take out the 52. If we don't take out 52, this doesn't make the move. If we do, I think it actually has the potential to even take those tops out. But you are in that big resistance zone. You're probably already watching Bitcoin on a day-to-day basis to see if it makes that breakout. But when in doubt, zoom out. That's all I ever look at, those previous resistance levels when we can. That's what it's all about. I mean, you're going to look at the technicals. That's what we do most of the time here. Not really fundamental day traders. You're going to be looking at the technicals, and your futures there are simply Bitcoin. So whether you're tracking this, Riot, Coinbase, although Coinbase reports tomorrow, I think you want to make sure what BTC can get to that 52 before you get another leg upside. I'd like to get that 52 break on Bitcoin maybe tomorrow. I had the stop order in today, and I guess, I've already tested to make sure here at Real Trading that the stop orders do work. I've been in and out of it a couple of times. I had a trade on around VWAP, but I want that breaking out the top. The breaks have been pretty decent on BTC if you can catch them, but it's almost like in a consolidated state now in that $50,000 to $52,000 level. I'd love to see it break, but you can't will a breakout to happen. Just because you want to go long on a break or you want the stock to continue doesn't mean the market gives two you-know-whats about what you happen to think. Less than 2 minutes to go. Cisco is one of the bigger ones after the bell. They're not the only ones reporting. There's obviously some big ones going on Thursday, but do not discount simply what's going on in the chip space, which will be, I know that'll be a topic in the aftermarket show. Uber, the chips, SMCI, and NVIDIA, obviously. AMD is going to end up 4% now to the upside as it just continues to grind higher. It's ridiculous. AMD, remember, AMD is more expensive PE than NVIDIA right now. And it's continuing to press highs. This, if it gets through 185 before NVIDIA earnings, there's no way in heck that I thought that was going to be the case. I keep thinking you're rejecting this going into NVIDIA earnings, and we're a week away now. So less than 1 minute to go here. I got my eyes on AMD. Just want to see what it can do at the end of the day, and I have another level 2 up for Tesla because Tesla's been challenging highs all afternoon. It might even get to this 189 level up top. So I want to look at a couple of strong names just to see what happens and how they can close. Why? Because when there's buying at the close on a strong name, it means that late money ain't afraid of overnight. So you always like it when things can close at the high of the day. The NASDAQ's closing at the high of the day. AMD's going to close at the high of the day. Tesla's going to close at the high of the day. And we're about to go to Adara for ye old countdown as you speak. So let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and market is now closed. Tesla 2.5%. The NASDAQ 1%. The ES 0.9. Back above that 5,000 level if you're looking at the E-mini futures. AMD did close shy of 179, but that's up over 4%. Advanced Micro Devices, a ridiculous day. Oh, and SMCI. Yeah, that was only up 11% today, closing at 882, it looks like, or somewhere around 882. Absolutely nonsensical. Shout out to you, James Dell. End of the day pump. I love the fact, this is the thing, you hear traders talk about this. You'll hear Sean and I not be very happy if the market gives up some of those gains too much on a bullish day. Like, you want to see it close up at those highs. It makes a difference. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s, doing a great job as always. Hey, learn to trade. It gets better every single day. Shout out to Sharif in the great shirt. I think you could add the beard to that. It'd look even better. And, of course, Adara, great and fantastic segment. We had Raheem Alani this morning. Shout out to Raheem. Great guest as always. Brennan bringing us the news. You know who I am. You know where you're headed. It is right on over to the desk. You've got Cisco earnings and more and some trades to recap in the Market Recap Show with Sean.
All right, traders, stay late. Thank you for staying late with me. This is your Market Recap Show. I'm Sean Katina at Trader TV. Sean, all over the place. Go find it on Instagram and whatnot. TAN, wow, we're going to start off with a nice little move today back on the NASDAQ. I was just looking at TAN today, up 4.8%. Of course, this is the Invesco Solar ETF that was down 6% yesterday. Battling back today, nicely back up to the upside. We will wait. You can see on the board today, we'll be waiting for Cisco, Oxy. There's also Twilio. As soon as those hit, you'll have it live on the board. Yesterday, we had Upstart, which was absolutely fantastic. We're going to wait for it. If you could see right here, we are going to get the news off of the Benzinga website. So as soon as that comes out, I will have it right now. SSS is halted. Yesterday, we had Upstart halted, and they kind of scared us a little bit with that move down today, but we're going to have to wait to see what happens right now on SSSS. But we're still waiting for Cisco and Oxy. So those are going to be the two important ones. Nat Gas today, UNG, man, basically, I'm pretty sure this is all-time lows. Let me just go over to UNG right now. Let's go to a monthly chart. Like, there it is. Like, Nat Gas is just getting absolutely destroyed. Like, you know, like 1,000 right there, down right now. UNG, the natural gas fund, down to $13 and lower right now, starting to go lower, lower, lower. So I don't know how far we're going to be going down on this name, but it continues to get beat up pretty good, man. And this is, I'm glad I questioned Sharif on this position when he had it, and he got the heck out of Dodge on that one. But again, I don't know what's going on where you guys are, but it's pretty warm in and around the northeastern, I guess, seaboard. We're in Toronto, Ontario, but again, really, really warm right now. UNG getting hit to the downside. Also today, oil. Yesterday, we had two up markets. We had UUP, which was the US dollar, and we had oil. Today, both like part of the only red. We had gold and energy and the dollar. Gold, energy, and the dollar red today. Ciao, Adara, as she's out of there right now. So that's fine. Yeah, you can keep it right there. All right, so that's that. That's USO. The big one today, everybody that was worried yesterday about the NASDAQ. What are we going to do about the NASDAQ? All my positions, oh my God, the turn is happening. Well, it's not happening at all. Let me go over to a daily chart here for you guys on the triple Qs. Look at this. We're still poking our head in and around highs. We did get a pushback yesterday. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit here for that. There's the pushback down to 427 and change on the Qs, down that 1.7%. Today, you could see the Qs up 1.1. So we almost get it all back. And part of that was NVDA. My best trade today, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the sticky note, Uber was like, That was a great trade today on Uber, but look at NVIDIA. Just continues to go, man. It's at highs. That little wick up there, 746. What are we going to do, guys, when this thing breaks 750? What up to Chef Joe and everybody that's in the chat? Like, we talked about that break of 700, and it just keeps on going, man. Like, just keeps on going. There's 700 right there. Looks like we can hold that. We have a week today, and we get NVIDIA. I'm not seeing anything really popping through anymore. I'm going to open up the chat right here just to see. You guys do a great job of kind of informing me. Everybody in the chat, I got to thank you guys for staying late, man. I know traders stay late. Hopefully for you guys, you're chilling right now. We were really chilling in the last couple minutes of the day because we had ARM down. We had Uber down, or upside, sorry. We had all of those really, really great trades to end the day. And yeah, we go, you know, basically a nice little top off there. Let's see what else happens. Oh, me and Neil not made fun of this name, but there's Upwork, UPWK. Let's see what happens right there. Actually, Cisco, Upwork is up right now, a little bit up. Cisco is now out, so let's go find out what Cisco's doing. Old tech, Cisco downside. Cisco $47, starting to go down $3 right now from Cisco. I'm hearing it in my ear, but I don't have it. 70 cents versus 84 cents. Cisco downside right now. If you're going to find some support, we're right there right now. Let me zoom out a little bit on Cisco. So Cisco's falling into $48. Revenue, $12.8 billion in my ear. Not sure what's expected, but Cisco coming to the downside. We talked about this yesterday. Here's Cisco live. Again, who next? Who going to show this? Cisco, downside move right now. $48, starting to make the move down. So there's Cisco, but just falling into the lap here of $47. Only down 3%. When I can see that news, I'll get it for you. It's not on the Benzinga platform quite yet. Here's Cisco. I don't see it. Once it comes on there, I will get it to you. But Cisco right now, bouncing nicely off. Tesla shares spiking apparently right now. 13G filing. Tesla's going. Tesla's at 194 right now. Tesla's starting to go here in the after hours. A 13G filing from Elon Musk sends Tesla to the moon. Tesla 194, 194.50. Tesla's going. This is a live level 2. Again, we got to clip this. Whoever's watching, clip this. Tesla right now 194 and going. This, I mean, again. Oh, let me see what CNBC's doing. Oh, yeah, nothing right now. There goes Tesla. Huge move to the upside on Tesla. 5% up, 13G filing for Tesla. Cisco making a move as well, but it's Tesla starting to get going to the upside. All right, here's Cisco quickly. Again, 48.50, who cares? All right, it's Tesla making the move up. It's a 13G filing, and it's starting to go upside. So I guess there's a 13G filing from, it's an amended, I'm hearing it in my ear, 13G filing from Elon himself, reporting how, oh, damn, guess what percent stake Elon has right now? If you said 20, you're right. So he has 20% right now. Let's get going on this. That's good. He talked about no AI for you until we get 25% of that right now. Okay, so there it is. Elon Musk. Check the account you sent that from, Brendan. That's hilarious. 20.5% stake. So we got that story as well. Thanks, Brendo, for that. Right there. That's a huge move, man. Well, maybe we'll talk to Chris Bretcher about this as well if he has anything for us on Tesla. But Tesla all the way back up to 195. And look at that. Look where Tesla goes, everybody. Traders stay late, and I'm sure as hell happy you guys stayed with me. Because if you got that bump up right there, you should have sold it. Well, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, it could go higher than this. But I'm just saying, right into past resistance right there for Tesla as that's going. I want to thank everybody for watching. 4,000 watching, let's go. We're also streaming live right now on Twitch, on Twitter. Twitch. Oh, maybe we should go on Twitch. I think we should go on Rumble as well, by the way. So we're working on that as well. But there it is. It's a nice move up there for Tesla. Elon Musk now has a 20.5% stake in the company on an amended 13G filing. So that's cool, man. That's awesome. Here's the news right now from Benzinga. So there it is right there. 20.5% stake as of December 31st. Okay, so a little bit old, but again, that's where the filings come in, right? We talk about being a rigged market, but there it is right there. It's coming out right now, 20.5% stake. he mentioned not worried about doing anything or not wanting to do anything with AI until 25. That's pretty close, man. Uh-oh, big Burry bet on Chinese. Oh, we already talked about Burry today. So actually, a pretty interesting thing there from Michael Burry. We'll talk about that on Sean's tweets. It's 4:10. We're getting excited today. All right, uranium with a nice move today. All right, this is a daily chart, but uranium trying to battle off that 50 period. Very exciting there as nuclear energy all the rage. Man, I know I'm in this sweater today. Shout out to VFC Corp. This should be a sponsor. But it's hot in here, says Nelly. All right, Cisco apparently coming back upside right now. Oh, no, sorry, getting lower, Cisco right now. Off the lows of 47, but still pushing lower. Watch out for 47 break there on Cisco. Today, quickly, SPY up 0.9. That's the S&P 500. Nice to see that, man. These are all-time highs. So every time we're here on the market, this is where you are. The one name, I'm still waiting for Occidental. I don't see Occidental yet. And I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat, man. You guys mean a lot to me. I'll tell you that much. All right, so IWM. Again, you're going to say, Sean, IWM is near the highs. I mean, what are you even talking about? It's right here, right? Nah, but if you pull this back out to a weekly chart right now, shares of Apple going downside. Maybe there's some news about Apple. But look at IWM right now. Look at this shelf. I mean, it needs to break. Its shelf is normally lower, but needs to break this top higher. 199, 2 bills. I'm long IWM if we break 205.80 right there. I like the trade, but needs to work. We're still way off of the highs of 250 there on IWM. I just heard out of my ear, out of my ear, that'd be kind of cool, that Apple making, hey now, Apple. Apple making moves here. What's up with that? Apple with the nice move down to the downside right now. I'm not hitting bang for Apple. But yeah, Apple making a move in. We'll find out what the news is there. But again, this shouldn't surprise anybody. Apple's been pretty weak over the last little while. I mean, look at the trend down here. There it is, hitting 182 again. That bottom is 180. I think all of us are waiting to see what happens down there at 180, right? If it can get there, then fine. But I'm not buying that dip. Oh, Berkshire and Apple, I think, is the news. Selling shares. What? Berkshire Hathaway, 13. Okay, so 13 Fs are coming out. Wow. Decreases stake in Apple to only 905 million shares. Jeez. I don't know how many they had in the first place. But Apple getting decreased there. Now, I don't want everybody to be jumping the gun on what does this mean? I have no idea the last couple times what Berkshire's been doing with Apple. They could be pairing off. It would make sense, you know. And again, they could have something where Apple is a certain percentage of their portfolio, and that's that. So I don't want to say that that's any sort of a reason to sell Apple. But what I want to talk about right now is Tesla. I don't know enough about it other than what I've told you. It's a 13G filing from CEO Elon Musk, the largest shareholder in Apple and the third most wealthiest, it might even be higher than that now, individual in the world, now has a 20% stake. Occidental's out right now. Let's go find out what Oxy's doing. So again, Berkshire, isn't that funny that Berkshire goes from Apple and then all of a sudden Oxy? So right now it's out, it's a beat, 71 cents expected. I missed what they reported in my ear, but right now, Oxy not doing anything. This is a 1-minute chart. Occidental sleeping right now. Parallel and out right there for Occidental, but it's out for them. I'm not really seeing a huge move up for Oxy, but apparently it's out. What a big day it was for IBIT. This is going to look a little silly on a weekly chart, so let me throw this down to at least a day chart. Bitcoin today had themselves a day, man. Nice moves, settling in around 52,000. You can see I like this for a tracker, but Neil made a pretty good point today that ARC-B, is it ARC.B? No, it's just ARC-B. Okay, so I got Berkshire in my mind. So ARC-B today, this name is an interesting one to follow because it actually, I think it tracks Bitcoin dollar for dollar. So when you see $51 That's 51,720 roughly, right? So I feel like that's pretty important there. Twilio shares. Twilio is out now. If Chris is ready, we're going to call on him soon. Twilio is out. So Twilio does a little bit of a dance. Looks like we might have missed it earlier. Down to $65 now. Twilio, not great. Just mentioning here on Benzinga that Twilio shares are trading lower after the reported Q4 financial results. I don't have the results here, but it is trading lower, and we did know. There's Tesla right there. Again, oh, there it is right here. Sorry, my bad. There's Twilio right there. 86 cents is a beat verse 58. Sales is also a beat. So where is the Twilio guide, which must be lower? I don't see it here anywhere. That's that. Well, there it is right there. There it is. So the guide comes right now for me. So Twilio guides 56 to 60 verse 54. That's better, but then they guide lower on the revenue. So that's going to send them lower. Remember, I went on a little bit of a rant. It wasn't much of a rant, but it was this. About Twilio's down 5%. What happens if these guys guide lower? I hope they don't guide lower. If NVIDIA comes a week from now, I mean, I don't know. I think we have Danielle Shea on next Thursday, so that'll be great. But again, NVIDIA is out a week today. So let's set records, man. Traders stay late. Send this to all of your friends. We need to talk more about this, man. FSLY is also out. Like, there's no other show that's going to do this, man. Back and forth with all the best earnings given to you. Fastly, what? Fastly down $23, down to 19 and change, now down 14 cents. Fastly reports a loss of 14 cents versus an estimate of a loss of 34 cents. So again, better than expected on the EPS. It must be a guide for Fastly going down to the downside. I just want to thank everybody for watching. And if we're ready, are we ready? Not ready yet, apparently. Okay, so we will wait. I'm excited to get Chris on here. Look at KRE. KRE, again, the financials. You want a name that's bouncing off the 200 period and you trust regional banks, KRE might be the name for you. Right now, JP Morgan, I'm going to take this out of my ear because we've already got all the big stories. JP Morgan, 175, bouncing on highs again on JP Morgan if we come over to the screen. I know you guys are setting some stuff up here, but let's just show some charts. There's JP Morgan, again, bouncing off the 50 period, right back up to the highs. Man, these bank stocks can continue to be well traded, man. XLF, another high as we get going. If you have the Hydration Nation button, I got to hit it. Apple tastes so nice. Apple tastes so nice. Apple does taste nice, but water tastes nice. Here's Fastly, guys. Fastly Q4, just quickly, and then we'll get to Chris. Q4, there's the beat. 1 cent versus minus 2 cents. The sales, miss on sales. Probably also miss on the guide. So I don't have anything for Oxy, but Fastly right now, FSLY. Let's just have a quick look at that before we go over there. Fastly, nice push to the downside, man. I feel bad about this stock. But again, you know, at highs, making the move back down only into protection right now. Imagine this is where we're at, 1940 right here. That's literally like the 50-period moving average. So let's see what happens there for Fastly back down to the downside. Cisco again, oh no, sales guidance below estimates for Cisco. I'll probably, you know, after seeing some of these reports, Tesla's an interesting one because I was going to say I might go bearish tomorrow, but TSLA, not TSLA, Tesla's now pulling back a little bit down to 190. Maybe we fade that 195 tomorrow. But again, look at 195 here on the daily chart. Definitely those highs. Just give me an okay for Chris when we're ready. I guess we must be having some difficulties with him, but he's going to come back soon. Okay, so Occidental, nice move back up to the upside there. As you can see right now, Occidental, EPS right now of 74 cents is a beat of 71.
Hey there, can you hear me?
It's going to be about the guide. So right now, that's what it's doing. Look at HubSpot right now. Nice little move for HubSpot. 51 cents versus 52. Nice move on sales. Let's check out Hubs right now. I like HubSpot because I'm a CRM shareholder, right? So CRM right now, let's check out what they're doing. Flat. Wow, look at CRM. Boom, that's a nice move. Why haven't we talked about, I'll get Chris in a second. Why haven't we talked about CRM more? Look at HubSpot. By the way, that Salesforce, man, this was another COVID darling for me, man. I remember buying this one. This is why I don't know the price. It's way up. I did sell some Salesforce in this area for sure. So Salesforce continues to go higher. All right, we're ready. I'm trusting you, Fabian. It's Trader Talk. Let's go.
Hey there. How you doing? Can you hear me okay?
All
Don't
right,
worry.
there we go. You're a little bit ahead of me, my guy. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Hey, I have a shirt like that. I like that.
Oh, thank Valentine's shirt, I guess.
What are you in the white?
Everything's
What are you
going
guys doing? I'm not done. I'm not done about this Valentine's Day. You're not skipping this part. What are you up to tonight?
We're going to a sushi place near us
Boom! Yes, sir.
that we've never been to, so it's
Worth a try.
it's I'm excited about that. My traffic in Atlanta though is dicey, but I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah. Apparently there's an Uber strike today too. I tried to call one just for fun here. There was one 2 minutes away, man. I don't know if there's a strike or not happening around here. But well, happy Valentine's Day to you and yours.
Yeah, you too.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's start talking a little bit about trading. You messaged me today. What do you want? I see you have ARM up. You want to go over that quickly, and then you want maybe talk about the cues? Let's go.
One thing I thought you noticed behind me, you don't see snakes anymore.
We talked about that last week, remember?
Yeah, well, my daughter left me a present, just so you know.
Oh, the
just
skin.
A teeny snake skin here.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
How long?
That's a big one. She hung it from my microphone.
Is that 10 feet? What is that?
Yeah, it's about 4 feet.
4 feet,
So,
10 feet, okay. That would have been a monster snake, I guess, 10 feet. Okay, all right. So I actually today, I really traded ARM to the short side. We had a 130 break down to 122. And then we were trading.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Oh, you must have been watching Trader TV Live. And then we had, thank you, Chris, I appreciate that. And then we had the break, and then we had the VWAP hold all the way through that 128 level. I really liked it. But I'm going to turn the floor over to you. Let's share some charts and go find out what you want to talk about with ARM, Chris.
Yeah, sure. One thing is definitely when I saw the markets yesterday hit price support, that's where we didn't go home short. Let's just put it that way. But there's always these stragglers you could go to on the downside. And we were playing this. I even annotated it. I don't know if you could see that on there, but we're really into these like 45-degree angles to look for tops.
Right.
And then, like next week, I'm at the money show in Las Vegas for 4 days. I'm doing things on bear flags. And there's your bear flag after the break. But right here, we shorted it. We shorted more there. And then it comes down to where do you buy it? Well, you see the lack of support all the way to the gap. But if you didn't do it that way, well, we played it to almost unchanged.
Yeah.
Or you could play it when it got over that ATR trailing stop, I like playing, which is right here. So you might have missed some of it. Some of the, you still made 6 points. But what we did is we took that, and once it really accelerates and gets too far from that ATR trailing stop, we usually get out. In fact, then we'll use something like a 20 moving average.
All right.
So, because the ATR trailing stop is a measure of average true range.
Right.
So if it goes nutso with average true range, you got to use something else. So that's why we covered right in here.
I like that. I like that 130 break. Let me explain to you what I did on my charts here just real quick. If you come over to my screen, thanks, Chris, for all that. Look at this dump at the end of the day, though. Oh, that sucks. We had to cover because I got to come over here and do this, but into 124. So for me, there's the 130 break. There's the dip down. We didn't actually get anything out at 122, but then all these VWAP shorts into the end of the day, taking multiple dollars with very, very small amount of risk. Didn't get stopped out. Nice move in there. We got one out there, reloaded it back down. ARM still fades out. And honestly, Chris, I really think that ARM over the next couple of days, I'm looking for a 110 retest. We do have a lot of news coming through with, I feel like it was March 10th, March 13th. We got to find out the SoftBank when they're able to, when the lockup, I think it's 180 days after initial IPO, or in this case, I guess, direct list. So have you ever traded stuff like that? Shareholder lockups where now all of a sudden, yeah, so that should be really good. Or do you have trades like that often on your radar?
Yeah, well, right now with ARM, the reason that we did that trade and didn't go back is on Thinkorswim and Schwab, it wasn't available to borrow anymore.
Right.
And then it was too late in the day, so I didn't want to just buy puts because they expire on Friday. And then it futzing around the last hour, we would have lost on premium. But definitely those lockup expirations, just hard to find them a lot of times.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that's a big deal. The other thing that's a big deal is what you mentioned with Apple, because how many times have you seen Apple start to go down for no reason?
Yep.
Warren Buffett's on CNBC touting Apple when he's really sitting there and lightening up. But the biggest tell for us was last week, because Apple has a habit of going to its strike
Let's go to
price.
his charts. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yep.
And so on Friday, when it couldn't get back to 190, so
Right.
it just wouldn't go there, right here, right on Friday. We're like, something's not right. It should have gotten to the strike price. So that's why we were bearish coming in this week, because if something doesn't go to a big strike price and closes under it, a lot of times it follows through to the downside the next week. So
I mean,
you know,
isn't it
so
isn't
far,
another big
good.
strike price there? So should we be looking at 180? Because I mean, it's kind of the same logic. If we're not going to get to 190 on the upside on a name like Apple, then aren't we going to try to retest 180 on the downside? I mean, we're only
Well, that's a good question.
Like,
I
thank you.
know you use really helpful using trade ideas, and we like using. Well, we have the Thinkorswim and we have the Schwab,
Yep.
and I have other platforms, but those two are where I put in my orders. And you can go to scan and scan for the biggest open interest on Friday.
Oh.
And basically, we just take my main list, and all we're doing is looking for, you'll see. And let me show you. If I have a minute, I'll show you.
I mean, I don't see anything in the scanner, so I'll give you a minute to load it up. Come over to me and I'll let you load that bad boy up. Let's go over to here. I just want to talk about Tesla right now quickly. Tesla, again, on that 13G filing by Mr. Musk. That's right, Mr. Musk. But now it's fading back down a little bit. I really like this story. We'll let Chris load this up, and then after this, I want to get your opinion on finally Tesla maybe finding a bottom as well. I mean, for all the viewers out there, for me on Tesla, I really think that this is an important step. It's because of the talk about AI. Elon Musk said until he gets 25% of the company, he didn't want to push the AI forward too much. But it looks like right now, and I'm going to get that story corrected for everybody tomorrow, but it looks like right now he's getting closer and closer to that. So again, I'm going to put Tesla back on the radar tomorrow for another trade. We're waiting for that 182 level. I don't think we're going to get there tomorrow, but Tesla is fading right now. Okay, Chris, we got it all loaded up. So let me go over to your screen now. And again, I'll give you the mic. Explain to me what all these calls are doing on your screen and puts, actually.
All right. Well, the thing is, like when I was on the floor, I was in the IBM pit for a long time. When things have a pin risk, it's when you have a lot of open interest on both sides of the market. So if you have 30,000 on one side and 100 on the other, that's
Right.
not likely to be spread traders. It's the spread traders that have to unwind. So what we did in here is all we did was take days till expiration. I put 3. So that's this week. Put the options between 10 cents and $6, even though that might not have SMCI in it, but that's okay. And my main list and open interest of at least 2,000. And all we did in here is then we went through the app in here, and we want to look for options that hit up with
Way up.
a lot of open interest on both sides of the market.
Okay.
So that's how you could look up like ARM and Boeing, and Alibaba never works, but that's how we did it. And then it pops up.
Wait a second.
obviously,
You
your
just
app-
said you just got my attention there. What you don't Alibaba's what the options are always mispriced, or what do you mean it never works?
It must be because it's an American depository
Okay,
receipt.
fair enough. Yep. Good.
I've lost on a number of those stocks on doing open interest plays because it just doesn't work the same.
Got it.
I don't know why, but it doesn't. But you have a great question about Apple with the open interest at 180. Number one, the open interest doesn't update again until midnight. So Thursday night will be the key. But yeah, I see totally what you're talking about 180. With that 65,000, 12,000, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
man. Okay, so maybe we do see 180 on a little bit of a pullback there because of all that open interest for sure. What do you think about Tesla? I mean, let me get your opinion as we look at a chart there. For me, my opinion on Tesla is pretty. I'm not even going to open up the charts. We've had that bottom at 182. We hit 183 today on some news about Delaware. He's not going to be able to locate the corporation into Texas is what I was looking for there. May still happen, but Delaware sort of struck that down today. And then his compensation package obviously is an issue as well there. So we're going to have to figure that out. I feel like that's all noise. You mentioned that about Apple. Like, so what? Berkshire's selling 10 million shares. They have 900 million, So you got to try to figure out some of these things. What do you take of this news? I mean, Tesla, I can't think of another company out there that has single name risk like Tesla. I mean, maybe does Apple with Tim Cook? I don't know, but one guy can really move this stock. Is that scary for a guy like you, or is that something that you're really interested in, the volatility in a name like Tesla?
No, it's a big deal. And what's funny is, there's been a ton of Wall Street Journal and New York Times articles about his drug use. And you're sitting there saying,
What?
yeah, there's news. The stock looks like it's going to have a bump up, or is he high that he's buying that much stock? It's pretty funny.
Oh, okay,
But it's,
okay.
all kidding aside, yeah, ever since they've had those articles, Tesla's underperformed the market. So we can say it's from sales. We can say it's from other risk factors with lowering prices or competition. But really, the personal problems are what's have been the bigger deal. That's why if he increased his stake, I don't think it's going to have as big effect as you think.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people are like, he's got a lot of issues.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that we never really talk about on the show. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just a generation thing, but like, to me, smoking pot and all that kind of stuff, it's not something obviously that you want your CEO to be out there brandishing, across the world. I don't think you should be going on podcasts and doing things like that either. But honestly, I'm pretty sure there's CEOs out there of corporations that you and I probably trade on a daily basis that are most likely doing way worse than puffing on a little plant. But we'll see how that does affect us.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not marijuana. The things were about LSD and ketamine and stuff.
Oh, okay. So yeah, all right. So I was talking about that Joe Rogan take. I don't know enough about it, so maybe we'll leave that alone.
Yeah,
but hey,
I mean, but it makes you wonder about overnight risk and something like that. But then on the other hand, you wonder, a lot of people are going to know that before us. So you wonder if you'll start seeing it in the put action.
So the only thing that I can tell everybody, and I'll tell this to people at Simpler Trading as well, we are live with breaking news every single day at Trader TV Live. So if anything happens like that, bang, we're going to be smashing that trade as well. Okay, anything that you're on right now, because honestly, it's Valentine's Day, and I don't want to keep you from those yummy California rolls. So let's figure it out. What else you want to talk about quickly before I go over all the banger trades off the sticky note?
Well, I'll tell you right now, one thing we just talked about is Tesla. Check out the open interest you're going to see at 190 tomorrow. So you're going to see a ton of open interest at 190.
Right.
And a ton of open interest at 195 and 200. So it seems to me as if you see it drift to like 193. Well, really, if you see it like 197, it could definitely go to the round number. If you see it like 192 and you see the broad market sort of up,
yep,
but it just refuses to go higher, we could really see it suck back down to 190.
Okay, so that's absolutely fantastic. So let's look at the 192 into 190, figure out where the plays happen right there. It's only Thursday, right, tomorrow? So we'll have options expirations on Friday. That should be really spicy as well. All right. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. Thank you so much for coming on once again. Very, very appropriate shirt. I'm glad that the snakes are no longer in the plane there. So now we'll figure that out. So shout out to you and yours. Thank you for all the trade ideas. It's Chris Bretcher. You can go find him at Simpler Trading. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Ciao, my guy. There we go. How smart is Chris? Thank you so much for all of that. All right, traders stay late. So we always do a little bit of a roll call. So we'll do that. But the one thing that I want to talk about first of all and foremost is something that obviously is so important to me. Whoa, that's too much. I don't want to scare everybody. All right, there it is. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours, man. This is mine, and we're going to have a great time taking the kids to hockey tonight. That's fun. Okay, just real quick, man. We did have the sticky note today. What Uber, come on. Do you know where Uber is right now? We were long Uber 75 break. We were long 74 dips, and we're going to show it to you right now. If you're not checking out the sticky note, you're making a mistake. It's completely for free. You guys check it out if you don't want to or not. But look at this, man. We only traded 4 names today. Look at Uber. Uber bought it early. Boom. Bought it late. Boom. This is $3 right there. Then we buy the 78 break. It's at 79.20. What else do you guys want? That's a good trade as we go, calculations. How could this guy have this much energy and these ideas? We come every single day, man. 8:30 in the morning, the sticky note drops around maybe about between 8:30 and 9. As we get some releases. Another name that we really liked today was Tesla off the sticky note. We also put down here, look at this. So happy Valentine's Day, first of all. We didn't trade LYFT. We can go look at that. But look at this Google 144 again. Need the support. Look at Tesla 182. Support. Okay, so let's go over there and look at this. So where's Google? And I'm trying to go fast because I got to get out of here. We got kind of like a little bit of pre-day. We get some, my wife might be watching, get some red wine. Going through. All right, we wrote down, what level, Fabian, did we write down? Did you say Google 144? Who would have done that? There's Google 144. It goes down to 144.10. That's a banger. We wrote down Tesla 182. Where does Tesla go? 183. You want to take that risk? That's a banger there. For $1 worth of risk, you get that. That's $9. Robinhood. We wrote down 1385 on Robinhood. What's the high today for? I apologize about all these wicks. When we log out in and out, all the dark pools show up. We wrote down 1385. What's the high of the day for Hood today? Someone say 1385? Bang. Right there. We had it as a break long. It never broke. So we didn't get long. So if it's not a long, it's a short. And then the name that we missed today. The funny thing is we didn't miss it, man. I even put on the hat in the pre-market. You know what I said in the pre-market? I honestly can't even make this up. Like, I said, if we dip down today into 2380, then we want to get long against 2350. Let's give this thing 30 cents. I mean, I'm almost feeling like I want to rewind and watch that today. Here's 2380, by the way. The bottom of the day is 2376. I said, give yourself 30 cents. You know how you would have had that 30 cents within 1 minute? Then it blasts up there. I don't even want to talk about the profitability on that. This was $1.30 in the money in a half hour. All right, thank you so much for watching. It's been a hell of a day. But you know what? Psych, we're not done. Roll call time, baby. I feel like, I know we talked about this. I'm 44 years old. So we have the okay boomer. I feel like that word psych, like we used to use that a lot growing up. Like, look over there, psych. Or, I'm going to, here, I have $1 for you. Psych, I don't, Anyways, all right, so what's up here? All right, it's roll call time. Let's do this right now. If you're in the chat, my love, you get it first. Shout out to Marissa. What's up to Benton? What's up to Greg Moore? Skyhawk. Yo, he says great show. Thank you for watching. I mean, we wouldn't do it without you guys. Oh, everyone's waving. What's up, my guy, Kevin Mendoza? He's been here for a while. Down to Sky. Nero Mark is here. Professor Jordan Love is here. What's up, Professor Love? Hey, what a good name for a day like today. He says not Jordan. That's hilarious. The Piper's here. Nick, Blue Arrow, Midnight Snowman is here. By the way, Jordan Love second in touchdowns thrown this year next to Dak. What's up to Richard Fan? What's up, Rick Gates, Midnight Snowman? Everybody's here. Thank you so much, Rick Gates, the boring man. I hope this show wasn't boring. Thank you for being one of the 4,500 that joined us at the top. It's a great show. Thank you so much for watching. One more, then they got to put me. Thing is, like, we're grinding every day, man. I do this. Me and my guy Fabian, the only ones in the building right now, maybe Obi. And then we got to grind with the podcast. We're going to do that again. It's been such a fun day, man. This journey has just started. Just promise me that you'll buy the book I'm going to release. I'm not. I don't have a book yet. You know what? I was thinking about a quarterly, something quarterly that we can do, right? So we'll talk about that as we go. Thank you so much for everything. Please go follow me at Trader TV Sean. We're banging on 45,000. We have 44,900. Awesome. If we could break that 45K, we'll celebrate. Thank you for watching. I'm coming home. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. And no matter where you are in this world, give your loved ones a big, big hug today. And we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.